So, it says we're live. Hopefully the microphone is working. Let me know if you can actually hear me, because I'm trying out a microphone so we have better sound with this, because people were complaining it wasn't loud enough or soft enough or whatever, so I don't want to, mess it up. Yes, Neil?
It's out of batteries.
The batteries in the black thing on the side. You know where they are. You can always switch the batteries from the other one, too. So, I just finished playing Liam in some video games, so there is that. Hey, finally made it. Good to see you, Sam. So please let me know. Can you actually hear me? Sounds good? All right. Thanks, Irish Wars. And Irish Wars, yes, I am with you. The only points I'm earning is just spending the credit card points that way. Actually, Delta sent me a nice reminder saying, congratulations, you earned 10,000 points because you passed this much of a spend this year. I'm like, yay. And none of it was on tickets, or basically none of it was on tickets. So I was like, oh, man. So I want to say hi to everybody. Rusty Shackelford, haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. Sam, good to see you. Traveling the world, always a pleasure. Alex, nice to have you back. So, Liam, get the ones out of the other remote control.
But that one also did.
All right. Find the black box that has all the things.
I just can't open it.
All right. Well, you come here and you talk to people about travel real quick. If you want me to get your batteries, you got to come talk to them. Well, come here. Come here. I'll get your batteries. No, you got to come here. I won't get your batteries. I'm not going to help you with your video games. So, Rusty's here. Bread Fan X3. Parma, yes, Josh, I'm on my own. Liam, why don't you tell them about your favorite place to go travel while I go get the batteries? I won't get it. You got to talk to them. I need someone to watch for them.
Okay.
You got to talk, Liam. How many batteries do you need?
4.
You got to talk to them.
No.
Say hi or say something. I did this for you. There you go. Get out of here. Give me that. Get out of here. Yeah, Liam, who not the most helpful when it comes to video stuff. He needs new batteries for the Xbox controller. So, Mom's out of town, so the boys, I'm letting them watch whatever they want and relax. So, give them a little time. Hey, Josh. See, Josh is on here. The gallivanting gals. Gals, I didn't have one. I just decided to do one about 15 minutes ago. So don't even worry about it. Footy Surfer, good to see you. Oh, thanks for the compliment, man. Let's see. Loud and clear. Thanks, Rusty. Lori, much better. I may not have to use my external amplifier to hear you. Yeah, so hopefully this thing works now and we don't get too many problems there. Terry, of course you had no idea. I only decided to do it like 15 minutes ago. It's totally fine. So I was just writing to your husband on Facebook to say hi. So since I wrote to him, didn't really know I was going to do this. But I figured, hey, why not? Let's see. Stranger Star, I'm going to have to hide you from the channel because you're annoying. Oh, Lincoln Mika Fox, good to see you on there. Hey, King of Newsham. Good to see you on here. Grissom Family Vacay, good to see you on here. Always a pleasure to pop on to see some of your live feeds quite often. All right, so Seb, 1583, what is your recommendation for travel cards? I'm guessing you mean credit cards. But right now, what you should be looking for is just one that gives you the most percentage back in terms of cash back right now. Because the benefits of like the Delta card with American Express or United's Chase Visa card, you're not really traveling right now as much, so you don't get the benefits aren't as good. Like the Delta Reserve's like almost $500 yearly, but you get entry and you get this stuff and you get free like companion passes. But if you're not traveling, it's not really a value. So right now that might be something to look at if you're looking to get new cards. Maybe look at something like Sam's Club has they used to have a pretty decent cash back for their card. So you might look at that right now in terms of your money side of things. But in terms of looking at credit cards in general, I always say it's like, look, if you're going to get a card, make sure you get a card from an airline that's near where you live because you'll actually fly it, or the airline you fly the most. Use them. and that's going to help you out because it's actually something you use. Because there's no point in me having the British Airways card because I don't fly. There's no British Airways anything by me, right? So where I have my choices are American or Delta by me. Okay, that's who flies near where I live, and so we have Delta, and we like them and we fly with them. So we use all of our points and go towards that because even if I pay more for tickets, we get upgraded so much that the free upgrades we get, like one upgrade to first class. In a domestic flight, you're like, oh, well, that paid for the difference there, so we're okay. So Liam's screaming for some reason. Liam, you okay? Yeah. All right, calm down, buddy. I think he's playing Battlefront. He's playing as Yoda when Yoda is jumping around and doing that, so he's having a fun time. But I have to have a fun time too, so cheers, Prost. Little Flensburger pills, say beer from northern Germany. Flensburger, and I remember I went and saw, it was like the equivalent of like a South Park Germany style cartoon movie, and I remember when everybody had these, they were popping them open during the movie, so it was pretty funny. Tyler in Sydney, good to see you. Hey, Mark Nickerson, shut up, Mark. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, there's a couple super chats. Thank you very much. Footy Surfer 1981, good to see you again. Love from Wales. We wish we were there. The First Minister of Wales has just put Wales into a strict full lockdown again, so we were all cooped up here. I'm sorry. I know I saw that. We were looking at doing the 2-week quarantine in the UK. We're actually going to do the 2 weeks in Wales where we stayed before by Brecon Beacons National Park. Or by Brecon, basically, Wales, because we had a perfect place there, good internet, so the kids could do their online school, we could work, and it had a little garden in the back, and it was out in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, that's kind of gotten pushed off for now, but thank you very much for the super chat, that's really awesome of you, thank you. So that's cool. Let's see. Oh, Francisco in Paraguay. It's been a long time since I've been down to Paraguay, buddy. Had some good times when I was there many, many years ago. Dave 264 up in Naperville, good to see you. Rusty, I've been slacking, missing the live streams for making up. Triumphant return tonight. Thanks, Rusty. Yeah, we haven't been, when we had the COVIDs in, March, April, May, we were doing all, 2 live feeds a week. And now we're kind of, we're down to like 2 or 3 a month. It's different. We've actually missed you. Joss and I did one with our patrons and members on YouTube last week, and it was just nice to get back and do it. And Jocelyn is gone for the night, or she's gone for the weekend to see some friends of hers. And it was like, I want to do something with my friends, and you guys are my friends. So I was like, hey, I think I'll do that. So I decided to hop on. So I'm glad you all are here. It's really nice to see you again, Rusty and everybody else. Deathlock Rocks. Any chance the EU will open up next year for Americans? Really want to travel to the UK, but don't want to quarantine. I think you're going to have to quarantine regardless. There might be some stuff in the future where there's shorter quarantines, or you get your test and then you have to quarantine for a bit and get tested again when you're there. I could see that happening because the amount of the tourist money in a lot of countries is really, some countries up 20% of their GDP. You can't, that's just a lot of jobs, a lot of stuff being lost. So they're going to try to find some way to make things work. In my personal opinion, I don't have any inside track information, but I imagine if you're going to want to travel abroad next year, it's probably going to be, you're going to go to one country and stay there. So we've actually talked, and we have a wedding in Italy, and they can have weddings in Italy again, but max of 30 people. But of course, they just have new things now, so maybe they don't anymore. But so we were talking, so we were planning to quarantine for 2 weeks in Italy and then go to the wedding. Or I would go to the wedding because I'm the actually witness for the wedding, and then Joss would stay with the kids, and we do some stuff for there. So we have that. Amy, good to see you. Amy Slaughter, Josh Parks, hello. Oliver Holden, been a while, good to see you. Sky Lorius, Stranger Star got muted. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Sam S. is saying, there's a good chance the UK will have corridors with the US, not really fall in line with the EU. Yeah, and that's what I think I've heard. Our friends, Derek and Liz with Means to Travel, they're over there, and they said there's some talks, after the holidays, there might be a reduction of restrictions between the US and the UK. Because our basic thing, we talked to the kids, we said, look, next year, it might only be you get to go to one place. So do you want to go to the UK? And we would stay there and do all the stuff there. Or we go to Italy for the wedding because we want to give the kids a choice. We wanted Italy, and the kids all both said Italy as well. So that's probably going to be our one international Europe kind of thing next year. Riley Fisher. Hi, Mark. Loved your Nebraska video the other day. We love Runza. You guys really love Runza. And honestly, I was pissed at Caleb because Caleb, we got the is it Funyuns, where it's fries and onion rings together. We had that, and so he ate those and didn't eat his runza. So he let his runza sit for like half an hour. And if you those who don't know runza, it's a sandwich. It's basically like a calzone sandwich with bread, and it's loose meat sandwich inside, but it's greasy. And if you don't eat it right away, it soaks through and it makes it all like a mess. And he waited like 30 minutes, and he's like, "This is a mess." I'm like, "Dude, that's why we told you need to eat it sooner." But yeah, runza is the definite Nebraska go-to thing. We have a video on the Shocks of Nebraska, and Jocelyn has it on her channel, the Eats in Nebraska, so that it had to make a few pop-ups there. So Nick P's in the house. Good to see you, Nick. Joe P, hello from Flint, Michigan. We can't wait for your visit. Michigan is awesome. Come explore it. Yeah, I actually talked about Pure Michigan, that whole tagline with everything. That's a really great example of a state going all in on one brand, Pure Michigan, everything going through there. I really like that. I imagine, so I actually came up with about 13 different USA road trips that are possibilities in case the U.S. citizens can't go abroad next year. And so I've kind of got, like, we did the Mountain West one, so we're back home now. There's still a few videos yet to come out. And then we've got one we're going to be doing Texas, Arkansas, Missouri. That's one we're going to be doing probably by the end of the year. And then next year we'll have a Route 66 one, and we'll probably do in the spring time, depending on how the kids' school is, if they're online the whole year. We're probably going to do a Michigan, go like Traverse City, Mackinac, Detroit, down like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and come around. So we'll be up your way, Joe. We'll be up your way. New Sham. Thank you very much. Clove Sergem, I think. Sergem. So thank you very much for the super chat, my Russian friend. Hello, I'm taking my chance to fly from Russia to Miami Beach next week, despite the pandemic. What place do you think are must to visit there? Well, you can still see the beach, and the architecture off South Beach is really cool. You can get into the Everglades National Park, not too far away. If you have a car, you can drive down to the Keys and see that. So there is still plenty to see there, and the weather there is still nice. I think there's a hurricane-ish kind of thing, but that's more, I think, towards Cuba. I think it's a little bit farther away, so not necessarily a huge worry right now, but just something to look out for when you're there. Hello, more people from Sydney. Hey, I guess it's good. This is the time to get my buddies from there. Josh's World Travel. What is the next time you'll be eating puffy tacos down in San Antonio? Probably next month. Spoiler alert. We'll be down there. You might see us wandering around. Broad World. Good to see you from Japan. Nice. King of Dusham. Use this to get a Dunkin's iced coffee. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll get the chai. For some reason, coffee, my entire life, I have not been able to drink coffee. Even when I was a kid, like my parents would make it in the morning, and I'm just like, like, Folgers in your cup, and everybody wakes up, and they're all so happy with it. I'm like, eh. And even now, like when Jocelyn will make like tiramisu and stuff, she's like, I used a little bit of espresso, and then she'll sometimes make it for me when I'm going to be having it. She'll be like, if she knows, she's like, Mark, you need to lose weight. She'll make sure there's a lot of espresso stuff in there and coffee stuff in there. But it's like, I can have it because I've been doing good. Then she's like, okay, I use like cocoa powder instead, so it doesn't have the coffee thing. So, but I will use it for good, not for evil. Don't you worry. Jennifer Olson, hey, Wisconsin people. So my in-laws are going to be moving up to Wisconsin for a year, so we'll probably be up there to come for a visit. Hey, Kim, road trip has been fun. Yeah, it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. So GameX Tavern, have you visited the Azores Islands in Portugal? No, that is one of the things. When you live certain places, you kind of forget to go certain places. Like when I lived in Portugal for 5 years, and the first year I was there, I visited all over the mainland. And then EasyJet came in, and Ryanair and all these kind of things. It became so cheap to fly other places. I started going all over Europe instead, so I never got to Azores. And my actually PhD coordinator is from the Azores, or Azores, however you want to say it. And then Liam's godmother and godfather live in Madeira, so we do need to get over there for that. So they're definitely on our list. Don't worry about that. Nick 1235 100. Glad we can inspire. Good to see you. Megan Morris in the house. Good to see you, Megan. Oh, gee, thank you very much for the super chat. Fly to Cancun next weekend. Should I double mask on a plane, or is one enough? If you have a mask that has space for you to put some filter paper in there, I would do that. Some people, what you'll see them do is they'll have their like surgical mask kind of thing, and then they'll put a cloth mask over top. It really depends on how you feel. The circulation system in the plane is cleaner than most people's houses' air circulation, or if you're going to work, or if you're going to Walmart to shop. So you're going to be okay that way. It's more if you feel comfortable with it, it's okay to double, but I would do I'm not sure how it is, but what I see most people do is they have the surgical and then the cloth one over top. Or if you have an N95, you can just wear that. I know I'm looking to fly maybe early December, and I'm just going to be using my Wolters World mask. You'll see it like popping up over here. Oh, if you guys, so we got the Britain shirt, which is showing up right now. We have those. You can grab those at woltersworld.store. We have the Andiamo, the Chichen Itza one. There's the mask. You can see that there. Also, Jocelyn's working on a couple Christmassy ones because we know with how mail's going now, it's better to order your Christmas stuff early for your favorite travelers. So we're trying to get some more new stuff out. So there'll be more fun stuff for you to pick up to get people. But OG, you'll have a good time in Cancun. A lot of the all-inclusives there were just reduced capacity, but things are still going on. So there's that. Claude, what is Duluth, Minnesota like? Duluth, actually, we were there this time a few years ago. We actually have a video on Duluth. Really pretty. You got like the downtown area has this like, I don't know if the department store is going to be open, but there's a department store, but it really is like stores inside this building. Go to Grandmother's, I think it's a restaurant to go to. I like there. If you drive farther north, if you watch our video, I talk about there's a few places to eat to check out, but there it's, if you can go and get like a side-by-side or a quad, like one of like basically like a fancy four-wheeler, and you can go ride in some of the trails there. That's kind of a cool thing to do. Alistair can give you some help. They live in Duluth. So Josh Parks asks, have you ever been tempted to make something tourism related your full-time career? Well, I have thought about it, and I think last year we actually had a discussion. What would it take for us to make this, like YouTube and all this stuff, a full-time thing? And I'm like, look, we have to have like 5 revenue streams that are making the money that my normal day job makes, and then we could consider it, because I'll tell you, YouTube money can be up and it can be down. I mean, travel stuff, I mean, our numbers are, we're like 1/3 where we were this time last year. And you're like, well, that's, I mean, anybody that works in sales, like, hey, when you're not killing anything, you're not getting paid. And so that's one of those things there. I think, okay, so we interviewed for a couple TV shows a few years ago, and one of them we got down to the numbers, and the numbers was like, I mean, it was like they wanted to pay like $1,500 for an episode for 10 episodes. I'm like, wait, $15,000, and you want us to work for you for 6 months and then do all the promotion stuff? I'm like, I can't live off $15,000 for an entire year. That's not going to work. And so it really got us to really kind of think about it. It's like, look, staying with YouTube and doing this is probably the best way to do it, because then I can have my job teaching that I love. I actually got interviewed by the Daily Illini today for like favorite professors on campus, and it was like one of those things. I really have missed having my students there. And so they needed some pictures from me teaching. And I'm like, well, we don't do that right now because it's all online. And some of the people from our Marcom group like sent me some pictures of me teaching. And I'm like, aw. So if you look on facebook.com/Professor Wolters, you can see a picture of me teaching back in the pre-COVID days. Yeah, Megan Moore says HEPA filters really, really knock this stuff out on the planes. So Nick P's up in Minnesota. If he says Duluth is freezing and he's from Minnesota, it's freezing. Sam S., thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Thanks for letting me live my vicariously road trip with you. Ireland just gone into strict level 5 lockdown with a 5-kilometer restriction, so no travels. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, we're here in Illinois, and it's still things are pretty much open. You can pretty much do not whatever you want, but it's pretty open. Like, you don't notice as much of the things affecting your life. There are some changes. I know, like movie theaters are restricted, but they are open. And now AMC, you can actually rent out a theater for yourself. Like ours is like booked 2 weeks out. So I'm trying to figure out, you can take 20 friends into a huge theater. So we're trying to figure out if we can do that or not. Yeah. But Sam, so we still have, the videos that are left on the road trip, we've got mistakes tourists make when they come to the U.S. That might come out tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure. I might actually do another live tomorrow morning. I'm not really sure yet. It just depends how many Flensburger pills I have tonight if I can actually get the rest of the rest of the video edited. I've got all the text in, and it's cool because it's like we start at Mount Rushmore, and then it was Mount Rushmore, and then Cheyenne, Wyoming, then Atlanta, Georgia, then Jackson, Wyoming, and then I think we're in like outside of Athens, Georgia. So it shows a little bit more of the stuff of the U.S. And I want to make it kind of like a collage of different stuff for the U.S. So we've got that coming. We've got the Don'ts of Montana. Jocelyn's channel still has, she's just put out the Eats Montana yesterday. Excuse me. We've got South Dakota videos still to come. What else? There's a Yellowstone one, but we didn't film it in Yellowstone because we didn't have the permits for that, so we actually filmed it outside of Yellowstone. But since I have like family pictures in there, I'm trying to figure out the rules on that. So the Yellowstone video might just be a bunch of emojis like seeming like it's what it is. So we'll see how that goes. There's that. Alistair, Jocelyn is at her friend Colette's house right now. She is going down there. They're meeting some friends from high school to have a social distance girls weekend, and she well deserved that. Last weekend, she went with her mom to Ohio and looked at Indiana to look at RVs for her mom, not for us, for her mom. So she did that, and so now she's heading home. Or not heading home, she's now on a girls weekend away. So I was like, go have fun. She's like, I will. I'm like, awesome. So that's nice. So she's having a good time there. Henry Martinez, what's up, buddy? Thank you very much for the super chat. Henry asks, would you guys ever like to move to Idaho or Wyoming? Actually, I was surprised how much I liked Idaho. I mean, I liked Wyoming too, but Idaho was gorgeous. I mean, the shocks, I was like, oh, it's not flat potato land. Like, people, of course not. I'm like, no. You understand, a lot of people just think it's like nothing there. I mean, it's mountains, it's forests, it's plains. I mean, it's just gorgeous. The people were nice. I mean, it was beautiful. Like that's when I was, yeah, but then I think of like if we couldn't travel anymore, it'd be nice. But eventually we'll be able to travel again, and there's no airports. Like you got to get down to Salt Lake City and then go someplace else to travel. So that's one of the things, like Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, there's no big international airports to take you anywhere. I mean, granted, here I don't have one either. I just we fly to Atlanta or Chicago, but just something to think about. Oliver, my day job, I am a college professor. So Washington, D.C. coaster fan. Oh, hey, it's been a while. So I was supposed to go to the Moon Palace, Cancun in April. I went there. I mean, it's probably been 6 or 7 years ago. I requested the Nizic side. Do you prefer Nizic or sunrise? I kind of like the sunrise side, but both of them were fine. I thought it was a nice place. I was there for a university conference. There was a student organization that they needed a chaperone, so I went down there with them. So Darren asks, have you visited our beautiful Welsh coast and mountains yet? Yes. And Darren, so if we would have ended up doing the quarantine 2 weeks, we were actually going to do it right outside of Brecon and stay there, or we were going to do outside inside whatever Snowdonia in that region. That's where we were going to do our quarantine because we just really enjoyed it there. And for the people that don't know, a lot of people don't realize Wales is really, if you're looking for an outdoor hiking, outdoor like biking, kind of outdoorsy kind of vacation in the UK, Wales is fantastic. I mean, I'm a big, huge fan of Scotland, but Wales is really, it's not that it's undiscovered. Just like most people think it's just kind of a joke and the English make fun of it, but it actually is a really gorgeous place. And I'll be honest with you, in Brecon, I had more people come up to me to say, hey, I know you from your videos, than any town ever. Like, we went to the grocery store there, and I mean, it was like every third aisle, hey, I know you. Hey, I know you. I'm like, and I had like no Wales videos at the time either. I'm like, cool, and so that was kind of funny. Oh, I got a big skip here. Sorry. Henry Peters, hey, Mark, a surprise live stream. Yep. So, well, Henry, I was thinking of you, buddy, because we had talked, so I'm glad I could do it. Let's see. Seb, 1583. Truly, I love your video channels. You help us with our travel so much. Very much want to do what you do for gay travel. Yeah. And the thing is, there are some, I've seen for the LGBTQ community, there's a lot more like Instagram help. There's a lot of Instagram families and pictures and stuff, but a lot of them aren't giving the tips. And I'm like, come on, like we need more help for this. So I've talked to some of my LGBTQ friends, and we're working on some videos to kind of help with travel for that. But right now, I mean, I want to make sure we can promote their channels, and anybody we work with. But right now, since no one's watching travel videos, I'm like, do we put it out now and no one watch it, or wait till people start traveling again? Then we can help more people out, because how the algorithm is, they're just not putting travel videos out. Like it just, I mean, some things are, but you'll see like like I keep talking about travel prep videos, like myself or our buddy Rob from Trip Hacks DC with DC stuff, or Chris from Yellow Productions, like a lot more of the trip prep. We're getting hit really hard. But the people that are living the travel, they're back to where they were. So, oh well, so we're missing out. Vicky, also curious, when do you think Europe will open? Would you love to go back? Yeah, I'd love to go back to England next year. I think you're going to have some kind of version of quarantine and testing next year. Excuse me, right now, like where I work, I'm a professor, and they just canceled spring break. And before they canceled, I was like, I don't know if we'll be able to go anywhere in Europe anyway. And so I wasn't really expecting that. Like I have a wedding to be in June next year in Italy. And I think maybe we're going to go in quarantine if we can. I think there's going to be still the quarantine stuff, but I definitely think it will be very different than it was this past year where there was just nothing. I think there's going to be restrictions, but might be possible. Jib Custards, what do you like most about teaching the students? Like the students just like when you have good students that like ask you questions and get you involved, and they make you want to learn, like teach better. That's what I love about it. And that's one of the things I really miss because now I'm teaching all online. So if you go to our Professor Wolters channel, and they're like, I have all the videos on there, but I'm not having the interaction. So this week, I gave a little talk on the marketing major, and they're saying, they only could get a few students in. So there's like 10 students and me, but it's just nice to be back with them. Bruno Santos, I have not been to Madagascar yet, but that is definitely on the list. Definitely one we want to go. Megan Morris is in Mexico? Cool. Hey, James Elliott in Dublin. Hope you're all safe. Okay, so David Inlow. We have flights from California to San Juan, Puerto Rico in January. We're hoping to be able to get into Puerto Rico and spend a couple weeks. That's one of the things I'm looking at in terms of travel for next year. I'm looking at U.S. territories and stuff like that. So you got U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, where we have Guam. You have these things that I'm going to guess will be a lot easier to get into than like a Europe or something like that. So fingers crossed. And Puerto Rico is a good place. Jocelyn was there and loved it. That's one of the 13 kind of U.S.-ish based trips or nearby with Caribbean that I'm looking at for us to do next year if we can't do Europe or Asia or Africa or anything like that. So Leo F in the house. Congratulations, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Maddie drinking honey whiskey. Be careful, honey whiskey. Honey, the extra sugar in the honey with the whiskey gives you really bad hangovers. I learned that when I worked in Lithuania and we had to develop new long drinks. Honey made it taste good, but the extra sugar gave the worst hangovers. Yeah, Oliver says, United proved that the risk of transmission on one of their flights is basically zero. Yeah, so I'm not really too worried. For those of you still worried, Lala, Jocelyn is on a girls' weekend, a well-deserved girls' weekend, socially distanced girls' weekend with her friends down in Missouri, going to some wineries there. Yeah, Paulo Jimenez, yeah, Costa Rica. Costa Rica, actually, I think there's some ways you could get in with quarantine and testing, but I got to check it out for sure. Let's see. Allison in Moscow, Idaho, they already have snow too. Yep. Let's see. Sorry, I usually like one of us is answering and the other one's going by, and so kind of moving forward. Hey, Claude, good to see you. So, Quaint 2004, the rise of COVID in some states had me nervous to travel more. What do you think? So, we did 4 weeks. The entire month of September, we were gone. We went to Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota. And at first, I was a little nervous, but then I realized, look, I got my mask. We have our spray. We stayed at our own rentals. We made sure we looked up the cleaning policies of hotels we stayed at, and we did social distancing, because social distancing isn't just 6 feet away. Social distancing is also choosing where you're going to go. So we went national parks. We went, Wyoming, which has like 600,000 people in the whole state. Like our metropolitan area where I live is like 250, 300,000. So I'm like, oh, so. You kind of make these decisions. That's why our next trip, we're going to be going through Missouri and Arkansas, Texas, where there's a lot of space, so we can do some social distance and still see some really nice stuff. Let's see. So Sam S., I don't know how travel influencers who only have that as a revenue stream will cope this year. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of travel influencers are probably going to go under, or they're going to have to do something else because you don't like... we make all our money off ad revenue, which is not a lot. Okay. And so some of these other Instagrammers where you can't get an ad on there, or TikTok where there's no ad revenue, it's all about the sponsorship deals that get things. We don't really get any sponsorship deals because we're too honest, to be honest. But they're all these companies are gonna have to pull back on their spend, and the thing is, I think money will come back to influencers pretty quickly, but I don't think it's gonna be like whereas people just like, I'm an influencer, oh, here's some free stuff. I think the Wild West days of the influencer market, it's out there because there's a lot of ways you can scam the system to get the deals and get the things which businesses are starting to catch on to. So. Nick P, Big Ten football. Yeah, Illinois is playing right now. Let's see. Whoa, missed a lot here. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. Yeah, about 50 things down here. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Whoa. Yeah, I guess I got stuck for a while. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to. So, anybody that. Hey, Mo. So, when MGH Mo said, hello, Mark, up late tonight. Good to see you, buddy. Sean P. Rick Steves at AMC. There you go. Traveling with Bruce. Oh, yeah. So, traveling with Bruce. We're going to be live. Bruce, when are we going? Are we live in November, right? I think the 10th of November or something. So, I'll be on Traveling with Bruce. We're just talking about travel and some stories to have some good times. Let's see. Yeah, Griswold Family Vacation. Jackson Hole's amazing. Love Grand Tetons. We actually like Grand Teton National Park better than Yellowstone just because there's less people and you see to kind of drive around. Caleb and I were talking about this today, or last night. He's like, man, with all those boardwalks, then it was so many people there. He was kind of worried, so it was interesting. Mr. Blonde, good to see you. Thank you very much for the congrats on 700,000. I appreciate it. I mean, it was crazy. When this year started, our January and the first part of February were the biggest January we ever had, the biggest first part of February we ever had. And I'm like, oh man, we might be able to hit 200 million views and 1 million subscribers this year. And then COVID came and just, so now I mean, it'll probably be 2 or 3 years before we get to that million, unless travel comes back. So, Lala Box, if you're looking for Jocelyn's channel is simply Jocelyn. I'll type that in there. She's got all kinds of stuff on there. Cooking, food. Every Friday she puts out a cocktail. Some of our travel stuff's on there. She's down all of our food videos for our travel food videos, like what to eat in Wyoming, what to eat in Montana and Idaho, Nebraska. That's all going on her channel. Also like kids travel advice. Not all of it, but a lot of it's going to go over there because how YouTube kind of pigeonholes everybody into stuff. They see that people come to our channel to watch YouTube videos on Europe, and those get really promoted, but everything else doesn't, especially the food videos. Even if it was European food, didn't get shown. So we decided to move all the food stuff over to her. So whenever we do new food videos now, it's going to go on her channel. So there'll be some fun stuff there. Austin, are you fluent in German? I was, but I just need a few beers. Noch ein paar, dann es geht schon. Aber wir sehen uns. Wir haben noch Zeit. Es ist nur 7:30. So, warte mal. So hopefully later. Ooh, Winnipeg. We go to Winnipeg. Sure. And Jay Williams. Yes. Talent is amazing. So Claude Legree is asking, any other cold weather fans know anything about Tallinn, Estonia? So I used to work in Lithuania. We would go up to Estonia for work, and I'd go there to meet friends. I mean, in the Baltics, I got to tell you, Tallinn is probably the top of Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. That's the top city to go to. It is gorgeous. Tons of stuff to see. Lots of decent food. It is pricey. The prices there are closer to Finland prices than they are to Latvia prices. So it's not a cheap place to go, but it is pretty. And if you can go to some of the islands of Estonia, they're really, really gorgeous. So Amy Slaughter, everyone's looking at getting RVs. This is one thing. If those of you that are thinking about getting RVs, don't do it now. Wait till this time next year. People are going to be begging to get rid of all those RVs they bought this summer because they're going to see the maintenance, the storage, and do they really want to do it? And you're going to see a huge glut. The prices that are super high now are going to come crashing down at the end of next year. That's my bet. Let's see. Camille, thank you very much for the kind words about our videos. Let's see. Excuse me. Adam Ferguson. Hey, Mark, I've been doing a road trip through the South, and I've been loving it, especially the food. Heck yeah. Thank you for the helpful tips, man. You have a favorite Southern dish. So my favorite Southern dish. Southern barbecue. Good old pulled pork and some burnt ends. Man, that stuff, you just can't beat it. Pulled pork sandwich, barbecue sauce. Man, yellow white sauce from Alabama. That's some good stuff right there. Whew. Nick P, my favorite national park's closed for further notice. Oh, Rocky Mountain National Park. Yeah, it's really bad there. They just we have friends that had a house right by there, and they're just like all their friends have had to go. It's really sad. Red Shooter Man, good to see you. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down because I missed a bunch. So Brian, our last road trip was 4 weeks. Then we did another one this summer that was I think 2.5 weeks. So we have that. Diego, Colombian living in Argentina. Cool. I hope you're doing well. Colombia is really an underrated country. It is gorgeous. That was another thing. That's another trip that's been nixed because of COVID. So like our whole travel things now, I basically have all the places we wanted to go, and they're just instead of like having it like this is what we want to do in 2020, 2021, 2022, it's like everything just got pushed together in a deck of cards. I'm like, you know what? Whatever we can do, we're gonna do. So I'm going to guess we'll end up doing a lot more U.S. and probably Caribbean next year. So it'll be more Central America kind of stuff because I think those will be easier for Americans to go to. So that's probably where we're going to end up going. But we still have a lot of European videos and some Africa videos still to put out. So we'll still have international videos coming. I just wanted to put out our road trip videos this month so people can see some stuff in the U.S. because I know what I see on our channel is the weekend after Christmas until the weekend after New Year's, we have tons of people that are looking to plan their summer vacations and figure out where to go. So I want to have a bunch of USA stuff out and ready for people because that's where a lot of 60% of our audience now is from the US. And so a lot of them are looking to go travel in the US. I'm trying to get as much US stuff out there so people can make educated decisions for where they want to go for next year. Because people will be traveling. It's not like people are going to stop traveling. People are going to keep traveling. And Henry Martinez, thank you again for another super chat, man. That makes a big difference for us. That really does. Everyone that give the super chat, all of our members, all of our pages on Patreon, y'all don't understand what a difference you make, not just for us, but other YouTubers when you're out there supporting us like that. It is awesome. I say thank you. But Henry has a question. What do you guys think, or when do you think you'll visit New Zealand? So Henry, our original plan was New Zealand and Australia was supposed to be Christmas this year. So that's obviously been pushed back. And so I don't know. Like that's the thing is I don't know what's going on because like New Zealand has pretty strict stuff and Australia has some pretty strict things. And that's what sucks is now you can't even be like, oh, we'll do it next year. Now I'm like, so that's what sucked. Travel best destinations. Mark, liked your Idaho, Wyoming videos? I was in a road trip at Indiana, Wyoming, Montana at the same time. They were amazing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was amazed how much I loved Idaho. My whole thing is I wanted to do Montana. That was my big goal. And then we ended up renting a cabin in Idaho for Yellowstone because it's just so much cheaper. And I just fell in love with that. It was just so great. And then Wyoming was just a cool time. I don't know. It was weird because I hadn't filmed any travel videos for so long that getting back in the groove of filming was tough. So I don't think I really got back into the groove until like we were about getting to Montana. So I like Nebraska and Wyoming videos and the first part of Idaho videos didn't quite have a usual zing, like because you get out of practice and so you don't use it, you lose it. So I got it back by then. So that's why I'm like, look, let's get these Texas and Arkansas, get this stuff going. We can get some things there. Alyssa, thank you very much for liking the live stream. And for all of you, thank you for liking the live stream. If you click the like button, it does make a difference. More people find us that way. It's funny because live feeds actually are horrible for subscribers. We actually lose, every live feed we do, we actually lose subscribers. I don't know why, but that's the way it works. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Claude, this channel is so much better than Briggs. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So, Reginald Man, are you and the boys doing fun things for Boys Weekend? So, one of my best friends is actually going to come tomorrow, and we're going to hang out with our boys and him and stuff tonight. So, the boys and I did. Mom left. So the boys and I we had Culver's because that's that thing. Anybody that knows me knows Culver's a big thing. So we did kind of some talk, and so I'm going to do this. Like I started this at 7:00 here, so I told the boys like, look, you guys got a couple hours to yourself, so they can watch their movies, they can do their things, and then when I finish with this, we're reading Black Hollow Lane or the Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. It's Julia Julia, what's her name? Not Julia Nigel, I think. Really nice series. There's 2 books so far. I've really enjoyed this one, so we're going to read that together afterwards, just some time for us. And then tomorrow the boys get to see some of their buddies, and I'll see my buddies. So we're just having some guy time, enjoying themselves. Liam's playing the Star Wars Battlefront game downstairs. He had a friend over today. So we're just all having a little just chillax time because it's the end of the boys' first quarter. So their only bad grade stuff is because the stuff they were submitting wasn't going through because there was technical problems. And I'm like, I know the problem. So, we're just kind of having a do nothing, chillax weekend, just knocking back a beer or high C. I mean, I guess Liam's probably having a juice box or whatever. So Caleb's upstairs. He's 14, so he's probably watching. I think he was watching Borat. I'm like, you'll have a good laugh because I remember watching that in the UK when it first came out, and I fell out of my seat laughing. Good times. Let's see. So Sam Ness says, I know here in Ireland it's like to be strict even after we open up because we had a problem with American tourists sneaking in via Northern Ireland around April and not doing their quarantines, etc. Yeah, there's always people that got to ruin it for everybody. That sucks. So I'm having, as your man, Flensburger Pilsner from Germany. It's one of those ones you get. It has the the pop top kind of thing, so it's always fun. Yeah, Mr. Blonde, I used to think Wyoming was just a square and Yellowstone. Yeah, that's why I had to talk about that in the video because I too was like, oh, it's Yellowstone, but actually it's a really gorgeous state. I mean, it is really, really gorgeous. Yeah, Jip Custer says, oh, that's sad. I can tell that the students also miss their teachers. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is we all have a life we're used to living. And if you're a student, you're used to having that teacher there and those kind of things. And that's what I always tell people. It's like, look, online education isn't the same. You can do very successful online education, but you have to really want to do it. It's more on the student, and it's harder for the teacher to really help them along because we're not there having that face-to-face time. Because that's one thing is, I know if I'm in my class teaching, even if I have 1,000 students in the class, I can still see and feel the audience and say, oh, they're getting it or they're not getting it. But when it's online, it's hard to see that, okay? So it's tough. So Alyssa, yes, Trinidad and Tobago is actually, that was supposed to be, I think that was going to be our February trip next year because we usually take like a 5-day, 6-day trip in February. Just the family. It's kind of just chillax because we've done Guatemala for that. We've done Belize for that. We've done, where else we go? Mexico for that. We've done, it's kind of like a Central America, Caribbean. Usually do that in Trinidad and Tobago. I think we're just going to Trinidad though. Was going to be like the one this year, but now all the school systems mixed up, and so we don't actually know when days off are. So it's kind of interesting. So once we know what the kids are doing, if they're online for the third quarter or not, it'll be a lot easier for us to understand what's going on. Also, Liam, we're still waiting to get Liam's passport back. So we're still waiting for his new passport. So that will also influence it. So, wait, I got stuck. Silent Strife, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Your question was, what are some good post-COVID destinations for toddlers? Thanks for all the content. You're very welcome. So, if you're looking for a place to go with your kids, little kids will have fun. They'll have fun anywhere because, little kids, all you need to do is make sure you plan park time. So, if you're going to go to London, make sure you're kind of planning out your route and make sure where's the park I can stop in, the kids can play. And you really do that. And so that's what we did with the kids. So we would go to Paris and we go see the Louvre, and outside the Louvre, there's a park. And then they play. And they have time. They'd run around. They do their stuff. They got their energy out. And I remember I've carried Liam through the Louvre twice. So make sure you got a good baby Bjorn or a good stroller to take him around because that can be really tough. One thing I would say is if you're in the U.S., you're going to be doing like national parks and stuff like that, you really need to keep your eyes on your kid when there's like trails and stuff, because they'll say don't go off the trails because it's for their safety and because there's animals, but there's also like cliffs and stuff like that. So do be careful. But what's cool with toddlers is they're just happy like, oh, I got a ball and I'm in a park. So definitely look for places that have green spaces just to be able to go out and enjoy. So thank you. And thank you for the super chat. That's really nice. Talega, thank you also very much for the super chat. No question, just sending love to Wolters World. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That is really awesome of you. I just want to say thank you for that. Oh, Ryan Donahoe's in the house. Yeah, I try to do a little something fun for Fridays. Yeah, Mr. Blonde. Yes, Caleb came down. He's like, dude. I'm like, I know. I know. I mean, he's 14 now. I mean, it's one of those things. You know, it's kind of like you have the movies you watch when you were a little kid, and there's like when you start watching not adult movies, but like more mature, not mature movies. You know what I mean? Yeah, the humor changes. You know, last year 12, 13, he started watching the Adam Sandler movies and stuff, and so it's like good transition. Talega, I still hope to try smoked beer in Bamberg. Actually, if you're in the U.S., you can actually sometimes find the smoked beer, the Hauptbier, in liquor stores. Like I would say fancier liquor stores. They'll have like individual bottles you can get. So there is that. Later, Amy. Good to see you. Okay. So DFNV, how many languages do you speak? So give me a little time. I would not have. I would feel comfortable being able to teach in English, German, Spanish, and Portuguese. Portuguese I need to brush up some, but it would come back to me, and I could teach in those. Decent like basic conversation, probably Italian. Be a nice tourist in French and maybe a little bit of Lithuanian. So those are ones there. Hey James in Scotland, good to see you. So traveling the world, what was your favorite state from your recent road trip in the West? I think the one that surprised me the most was Idaho. Probably Montana in the long run would have been the one I liked the most, but we didn't spend as much time there as I would have liked. And I remember we were leaving, we were actually talking. We should just take the left and turn around and go to Glacier National Park. But we'd already paid for our VRBO in Deadwood. And so I'm like, we already have that. And right now, like that's sunk money. There's no money getting any money back. I'm like, we couldn't afford to drop that and then go up there, which I'm still kicking myself for not going, but we'll go back because I think we'll go up Wisconsin, Minnesota, then go across North Dakota, the Glacier National, then come back around. So that's a possible late summer one next year. So there is that. Henry Martinez, thank you again for the super chat, man. Mark, were you ever able to get your newer PC fixed? I'm actually getting my new Mac iMac 27K next week. Do you think you'll ever try to work on a MacBook Pro? Your thoughts on Apple products in general? So I got that computer working. I got everything backed up, so it's okay. So I'm just letting it go for now. I have not really considered doing Macs just because some of the software I always had to use for work didn't run on Macs. It didn't run very well. So I didn't do that. So I was like, I just didn't buy those. And then I don't know, like I have my iTunes account or whatever, and we have a smart TV upstairs, and it's like, oh, you have Apple TV on here now. And I'm trying to put my password in. And they're like, oh, we sent it to your Apple device. You can only get it through your Apple device. I'm like, I got rid of my last iPad like 5 years ago. It's like, I don't have anything. So how am I supposed to sign up? And there's no way. I'm like, damn it. And it's that kind of stuff that really upsets me with companies kind of like lock you in. Yeah, Mr. Blonde, Hank Green is in Missoula, Montana. Yeah, that was one of the things. I wanted to go up there and hopefully see them, to be honest, because they do a very good job of promoting Missoula, Montana in general, like on the down low. So it's really kind of cool. All right. There was a big jump, and I missed a bunch of people's questions. So I'm gonna scroll back up. Oh, Rob from TripHacks DC back in the house. Oh, just got back, Rob. If you're going to DC and you want to do a tour, I highly suggest TripHacks DC. Rob runs the tours, super great guy. Fun tour to do. We've done it before. A lot of our fellow travelers have done it as well. So if you're looking to do it, good times. So Kay has a question. Have I ever been to Serbia? So I was getting ready to get on a train to go to Serbia, and then they burned the embassy. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how many years ago that was. Maybe it's been like 10 years now, probably, or 8 years, 10 years. I don't know. It's been a while since it happened. But I remember going, or no, more than that, maybe 12 years. And I'm like, I guess I'm not going. So I haven't gone yet. But that was one of the places we were looking at going this summer, because we were going to do kind of like the former Yugoslavia, Albania, going from Italy to Greece overland and seeing like Romania and Bulgaria too, and doing that. But that all got kabooed. So there is that. Let's see. Alyssa, thank you for the tip on Trinidad. I appreciate it. Yeah, Stan Hasselbeck. Yeah, Grand Tetons is nicer than Yellowstone. Not that there's anything wrong with Yellowstone. Exactly. If you go to any hiking, Tetons can't be beat. Yeah, Stan, I'm right there with you. Tony, I teach at the University of Illinois. Update on football. Oh, Wisconsin's up 14-0. Hey, we came back last time. We can come back again. Gui! What's up, buddy? Good to see you. See, can you tell I'm trying to catch back up? Let's see. Yeah, Sam S. once points out with online education, also online learning isn't suitable for a lot of people, like people who without good internet or even people who have learning difficulties and need a teacher to keep an eye out for them. Yeah, that's why where we live, there are some kids that are actually in face-to-face school because of reasons like that. So I can understand schools going back. I don't have a problem with that. They're safe. The kids can learn. The kids can have a safe environment. I say go for it. Crystal is going to Jamaica in March for a wedding. Very nice. Very nice. We love Jamaica. We had a really good time there. Just remember, everyone's going to try to sell you stuff. Just like, hey, I'm taken care of. Respect. Appreciate it, though. You treat them with respect. They'll treat respect back. It's nice. So, Lissa, how do you homeschool anywhere in the world? Easy. You have the program. You can buy programs that'll have the curriculum for you, and just kids do it when they have the time. You teach it yourself. Right now, though, our school district where we live, they have online schools. So they have a Chromebook and they have 3 hours of class. They do that and they have homework and that's it. So we can do that pretty much anywhere. So. Oh, wow. Shakes JG carried our son at 12 months up the Gros Piton in St. Lucia. Traveling with kids is the best. Yeah. That's one thing is when you travel with your kids, some people are like, well, they won't remember. I'm like, look, it's not about them remembering. It's about you remembering. So that's one of the things I think is really important. So. Pedro Portillo, I started learning German 2 months ago. Got any advice for someone who's serious about learning, at least for conversation? All right. You started learning. That's the first step. Actually learning. I always tell people I have an old video and a newer video on how to learn foreign languages. To give you the summary, one, you got to take it seriously. So take a real class. Don't use a phrase book because phrase books only let you answer ¿Cómo estás? And you can only answer muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? No, you need more. You want to create your own sentences, not repeat sentences. So that's why it's important. You get a grammar book, you take a real class, you start doing that way. Another thing you can do is YouTube has tons of helpful things. If you're looking at German, learn German with Herr Antrim. He's a buddy of mine. I think he's at 100,000 subscribers now too. He's got tons of free stuff online. You can learn that way. Another thing is find TV shows like The Simpsons and watch them in German. A lot of things you can find them on German. If you go on Netflix, you can, and I guess they're on Disney Plus, but you can go and you can scroll through and find sometimes it has German language option. And you do that just so you can hear the words or you put the subtitles in German underneath and that can really help as well. So there's that. EJ, I have not been to St. Andrews, sadly. I would love to go there and play golf. My dad's played golf there a few times, which he still has the hat, I think, from the first time he went there, in 93. So he still has it. It's like a burgundy hat. It's still in his collection of hats he wears. Hey, Sweet Gunner in Poland. Good to see you. Oh, wait. I'm jumping around again. Sorry. Let me scroll, see if I missed anybody. So many nice people. Hey, thank you everybody for being with us on a fine Friday night. Hey, Professor Walters, I had an extremely bad experience in Italy. I'm sorry. Hey, John Anderson, good to see you. Creighton, I like some of your videos in some place in Africa. Yeah, honestly, Rwanda, Tanzania were both great. We had a good time in Morocco, but Rwanda was incredible. We want to go back so bad. Actually, Jocelyn was fighting with Caleb because he's like, I'm going with you. She's like, no, I'm going by myself. I'm going with my friends. So it's kind of a competition. Who's going to get back to Rwanda first? Timothy, thank you very much. Up in Ottawa. Appreciate it. So EJ Slim, would you ever do a video comparing Ireland and Northern Ireland? Are they so similar that's not necessary? No, they are different. You definitely, especially when you go to Belfast, you really feel with the architecture and the whole atmosphere, it does feel very different than the Republic. That was actually one of the videos we were going to make because we were supposed to be in Ireland from the 8th of October until the 20th of October. We were supposed to come back this weekend. No, last weekend, I guess. However the numbers work out. This last Monday we were supposed to come back. But obviously that got canceled because of COVID. So that was one of the things we actually had a plan on filming. But alas, didn't happen. So Regina Man, yes, thank you. Don't forget, thumbs up. Also, if you're interested in grabbing some Wolters World gear for your favorite traveler this Christmas or this holiday season or birthday or whatever, if you go to woltersworld.store, we got all kinds of stuff. Here's a few things here. We'll have more stuff coming up soon. But feel free to order some fun gear. We actually, the water bottles we use all the time. That Andiamo shirt I wear quite often. If you look in our videos, I actually have 3 of these of the British ones, but they're all dirty because I wear them all the time. So it's funny. At least I'm wearing the same shirt that I'm wearing right there. Does that throw you off? I was trying to like line it up so I could be like, look, see, it's like I'm the same guy. Da-da-da. Except that guy in that picture was in Paris. Anyway. Raccoon, a place I don't recommend. Any place that's in war or near a war-torn region, it's not worth it. For the safety reasons, I just don't think it's worth it. Let's see. So traveling the world, have you ever been to Indiana Dunes State Park, which is now a national park? If there's so many tips, I have not been yet. That is a place we probably end up going maybe this spring, because it's not too far from us either. So that's something we're looking to do. Hey, Caleb. So how was Borat? It was good. Yeah, it was good. Let's see. Maria started learning Japanese 2 weeks ago. Nice. So Adolfo was asking, have I ever been to Brazil? Yes, I actually lived in Brazil for about 7 months. I don't know, it's been probably 15 years ago. Loved it there. The family I live with there, their son lived with my family in the U.S. We went back in 2018 for their wedding, for his wedding. So it's a really great experience. My kids have avô and avô, the grandma and grandpa there, because we have really close family ties there. So it's really nice. Let's see, Creighton, what apps do you use to learn good phrases when you travel? Do you do Rosetta Stone or others? So I had Rosetta Stone, but it was just too much. They were expensive back in the day, but I had a few of them. I ended up giving them away because I didn't learn that way. I learned my language. I learned by talking to people and asking the words, and then building from there. But I think anywhere you go, it's good to know, like, please, thank you, yes, no, where's the bathroom? Like those 5 things, you'll be pretty good. You say good. Hold on one sec. I need to get another beer. I'll be right back. Have your questions ready. You okay there, Liam? And now we're back from our intermission. I guess I need to get one of those intermission things that pop up. Sorry. But this is the best part of these Flensburger pills. Listen. I mean, you can't help but laugh with that. Anyway. Mark Finley's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. How was your dinner? Did it go well? I hope. Lily Picker, when will the Canadian border open back up? I wouldn't imagine until spring, to be honest. I think you can still fly. And there's some people are looking into ways to get around the rules, which I don't agree with. But yeah, I don't expect things to open up for a while. To be honest, Alyssa, East Coast road trip, I-95 from Maine to Miami, Florida. Man, you better pack some patience because the driving on that I-95, oh man, there's some fast drivers on that road. Okay, Hero, Raven Song, what strategies do you have to save money to spend on vacations, trips? So there's 2 ways I look at saving money for travel. There's saving money before we travel, and then there's saving money while we travel. So in terms of saving money before you travel, we actually have videos on both of these. They're a little bit older, but they still, saving money tips never change really. But I think in terms of saving money to go there, we don't have cable. We have internet, so everything goes through this. We haven't had cable. We moved back to the U.S. in 2011, and we didn't buy cable when we came back. We just have internet, so that saves us, $200 a month. If you get one of those bigger packages. So $200 a month times 12 is $2,400. There's 2 trips. That's 2 trips to Europe in the summer. And if you get one of those, if it's one of those February, October trips we do, that's the entire family going to Europe. So we make things like that. For the longest time, we only had 1 car. We got our second car. We moved back in 2011. We got our second car in 2015. So I guess it's been 5 years. But we never had, like, I always joke, my car is always my favorite color, cheap, because we get a decent used car, with 20,000 miles on it, because then the price drops. You want to know, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 miles, that's when there's the big price drops. So, we've got the last 2 cars we had were demos from dealerships. So it's just people driving around town testing it out. Got 20,000 miles on it. They can't put it on. Boom. Hey, I'll take that, for a huge discount. So you find little things to do to save money. Like we do, as fat as I am, you would think I eat out more often. Okay, I know I go to Culver's a lot, so there's that. But we don't eat out a ton because it's like, look, I can spend, if I go out to dinner with I got 2 boys now, and Caleb, he has dinner, and then he like eats again at midnight, and then at 3 a.m. he's like, I needed some eggs, and you're like, dude. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're 14, you're growing. I mean, and so we save a lot of our money by not going out to eat, and not spending on things like that. If you notice, like I'm wearing the same shirt that's right there, and you look at the videos from 6 years ago, I'm wearing the same clothes. I don't really update my wardrobe very much, which could be just because I'm an old guy, but you find things like that to not spend money. You just make it a financial priority to save for travel. Now, when you travel, some things you can do, this is one I'll actually talk about with the mistakes of the U.S., getting those points, getting those miles, not just for airlines, but for accommodation and stuff, that can help you save money. Also, the destinations you pick to stay at, if you want to stay with friends or not, realizing that, maybe you don't have to go out for 3 meals every time. You can like eat at home for dinner and breakfast and have a nice lunch. There's little things you can do to do that. And so we do a lot of those to really make a difference, because here's the thing. If we only go out for meals twice, and we got 4 of us, so you're going to spend like $60 to $100, and that's one meal. That's $700 a week you'd be saving. I mean, you got a big family, that can save you a lot of cash by eating at home. And shoot, $700, that's another like few days of travel with a whole family and hotels and stuff. And so we make decisions like that. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Fabio Andres Fabiani, love your videos. Thank you very much. Have you been to Antarctica? No, we have not. We will probably go, well, if things open up again, probably in about 4 years, when Liam gets to a certain age, because not every place will let you take kids with you. So it has to be a certain age to go for the ones we want to do. So that is something up there. Also, need to save the money for that, because that is an expensive trip. Jay Williams, top 5 countries for beer. Well, Germany, Czech, Lithuania. It's funny. Brazil has some sneaky good beers, but they have some sneaky bad beers as well. And then where was I that had really good beer? God, there's a place I was in Central America that had a really good beer, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Because I was there. It wasn't El Salvador. Their beer actually wasn't too bad, to be honest, but maybe it was Tonya. It was like, if you're like a light beer, lager kind of beer guy, Pilsner kind of beer guy, Nicaragua, Tonya was pretty good. But yeah, those are some of my favorite ones out there. But now, like, microbrews are everywhere in the world now, so you can actually get good beers pretty much anywhere. So it's nice. So EJ, do you see Southwest is going to start having flights out of O'Hare? That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's funny. Yeah, you'd think they were just going to be like a midway kind of thing. But that shows me that O'Hare is really hurting, and they must have lowered their fees for flying in and out of there to get them to go. Because I think you're going to see one of the big 3 maybe going away. So we got to replace some of those things. It's all about the Benjamins. Got to make the money. Let's see. Where's one? Okay, well, Michael, my half-sister had COVID back in July. Fortunately, mild case, thank God. I'm glad she's okay. She plans to travel to Japan next year. I believe in 2021. You need a vaccine or antibodies. Yeah, it all depends. It all depends. It might be you have to quarantine, test again. I expect something like that to happen next year for our travels. We're already planning around that. So we're not going to go to a lot of countries. We'll be going to a country and then staying there. So I think we'll end up going to Italy and quarantine and stay there and just do a bunch of Italy videos next year. So we all going to have a lot of Italy videos next year because that's the only big trip we can do. There'll be a lot like, oh, here is how you make this. So it'll be fun now. Let's see. So Mark Pascuzzi asks, what is the first post-COVID trip that you plan on taking? Anyone I can go. Abroad, I'm going to guess probably our first trip will be to Italy. Just because there's a wedding, one of my best friends getting married, and I'm the head witness, the best man kind of thing, and I can't not be there for that, so I'm gonna guess that'll probably be the first one. But we're still doing trips. Like we've done a few road trips in the U.S. already. We're planning more coming up, so we have all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna be going all around the U.S. I mean, taking the right precautions, and that's one thing I think people need to realize is you can travel again in a lot of places around the world, but you have to be willing to make the sacrifices, and you know. We bring all of our cleaning stuff with us. We wear a mask all the time. You have to think about these things. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, that's totally fine. Don't travel. I mean, I don't want to force anybody to travel. It's like, look, you got to be comfortable with that. We put out a video, what you should know before traveling again. And the first thing I talk about is you have to feel comfortable. Even if there is a vaccine and there is treatments and all this stuff, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it because you won't have a good trip. You'll be so freaked out. It's okay not to. Let's see. James asked, Mark, have you ever seen videos by James Blick's YouTube channel? Is he the one, it's like living in Spain or something like that? I've seen a couple of them. He seems like a nice guy. So Creighton asks, how soon do you book trips when you travel? 8 months away or next month? So usually what we do, I usually book way in advance because I want to get the good prices and stuff and make sure it's all there. Because how my schedule is, I know when things are. And so I'm like, if I want to travel a certain place, I want to film in certain places. It's like, okay, you know, the Olympics are coming up. So I was going to be in Japan for a conference in May this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I was hoping to do that and film some more stuff for the Olympics for that. But like the big trips, I will try to book 8 months out, but the shorter trips, you know, it's like, well, you know, for like right now, I'm like, well, we're going to go for Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving, I usually have an idea. Usually I bought the tickets by now, but like this year, you know, like we're probably going to go on a road trip here in a few weeks, maybe. And I haven't booked anything yet. Cause I'm like, it really depends where we're looking to go and what our time frame is. Let's see. Oh, wait, dang it. There's somebody from Brazil. Hi. Hola. Oi, tudo bem? Let's see. Chicavi, Mark, what's the most quaint or remote place you travel to? Almost backwater in a way. So there's some relaxing places. Like I thought some of the places we went to in Idaho were just like totally back cabin was just totally chillax. Like, look, there's the lake. Northern Montana is just, you're in the middle of nowhere. But then there's like some small towns like the Harz Mountains in Germany, which still have tourist stuff, but not a lot of tourists. That's really gorgeous. There's some places in Portugal. Like if you go toward the north of Portugal, like the tourists usually go to Lisbon, Porto, and then the Algarve in the south. But if you go to some of the smaller villages in Portugal, it's like you and all the grandmas, and that's it. So there's some really cool places you can check out there. Su Chun, what country does Wolters come from? We're from the U.S. Bergamo. So, Michael, go to Bergamo. They need some love. So I did go to Bergamo. I went to Bergamo for a calcio match, a soccer match. And when I got off the bus, because I was cheering for the opposing team, they searched me, and one of the cops goes, "Oh, you're just fat," because you see if I had anything on me. It was pretty funny. Pat Murphy, Belfast is very British city where Derry is very Irish. Yes, I've been to both, and I 100% agree with that. Like Belfast, it's like you're walking into a middle-sized British city, like English city. That's how it feels, and the look with the architecture. But when you go to Derry, you really feel like, you don't even realize you've come across the border, because you're like, oh. Because I was there actually in Derry when they were burning, like, you know how they make the huge like effigies of politicians and they burn them? I was there then, and there was like the tanks and stuff, and I'm like, oh, interesting time to be here. So, yeah, that was pre-Wolters Rule days, though. So, Lynn Stevens, what's the wait time for getting a passport? So, they're back to relatively normal times. They're saying 10 to 12 weeks for the normal ones, 4 to 6 for expedited. When we turned Liam's in August, like the end of August. We still have not got it back. It's only now in process. And so, I think we're supposed to get it back like Thanksgiving. So, but at least now you can apply for the expedited version, whereas when we did that, you couldn't do that. Let's see. Ooh, someone's going to Namibia? Oh, that's a place I would love to go. Fabio Andres Fabiana, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. So have you done the holidays on the road? Yeah, we actually do. Quite often we do holidays on the road. Like I haven't had I think the last birthday I had in the U.S. was like 2013 or 14. Because usually we travel because I'm around. My birthday's around Thanksgiving, so we usually are gone. Christmas, it depends. Like we went for quite a few years in a row. We were gone for Christmas, and then this last couple of years we have been here. We've just left like right after Christmas for travels. That's kind of been the thing the last 4 or 5 years. It's like we stay here for Christmas, and then we leave the 26th or the 27th, and we go for a week, 10 days, something like that. Jocelyn's birthday is in June. We usually try to be somewhere for her birthday and do that. So we usually try to do the holidays. And the thing is, especially when the kids were little, doing the Christmases abroad was one way that we could have just a Christmas, the four of us. Because, a lot of times the family wouldn't come or they wanted to be with the other family. So like with my parents, we were like in the Czech Republic with them right before Christmas. Then my parents, they tried to go back home, but they got stuck. There was an ice storm. But then Jocelyn, Caleb, and I ended up in Bamberg and spent Christmas together there. And then there was one Christmas that we were in Avignon, and it was Liam and Caleb and I. And if you watch like the 511 Hates of Airbnbs, you'll see them fighting in the bed at our Airbnb. So those have been fun to have holidays like that. And sometimes it just makes it a much more family-oriented kind of celebration. Because, when you're in college and you come home for Thanksgiving, you have Thanksgiving dinner, and then that night you go out and party with your friends. So it's a little bit different. So if you want to have that. So let's see. Lily Pickard, you and Rick's teas are my favorite. Thank you. Amy in Tucson, good to see you. Sorry. Oh, Turn It Up World. Love that Jocelyn's birthday is the same month as ours. Whoop, whoop. So, hey, I got to say, our buddies Turn It Up World, Tanya and Dave, they are awesome. If you're looking for anything, I want to say, like, if you want to ever go to Vegas, go check out their channel. They have so many live feeds where they're going around showing you what Vegas is like right now. They are awesome at it. Definitely check them out. Turn It Up World. They're hilarious, the cutest couple possible. I know people say, no, Jocelyn, you are. No. Tanya and Dave are like next level in love with each other, and it's not like the oh baby, no. It's like you can see the love between the two. But they go and they show all kinds of stuff in Vegas, places to stay, places to eat, all kinds of things. Like seriously, awesome couple, awesome people, good drink makers too. So just check out their channel, Turn It Up World, well worth it. Let's see, Seth, I have not been to Lake Tahoe, so I haven't been to the south or the north. K&P, thank you very much for the super chat. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I missed a few tweets here because we had a big jump. I apologize. Hamza, Namibia. Namibia's not too bad. If you're going to go, you might want to just sign up with a guide. If you want to do it, you can do it on your own. It's not impossible. But if you want to sign up with a tour, what I would say is a lot of the tour kind of things, especially if you're going to do safari stuff, they all do the same thing. And the difference is just like the level of accommodation you get. So you might want to do that. If you feel uncomfortable with anything, sign up for a tour kind of stuff can help you out. You can do, if it's just you and your family, you can do just a tour like that too. So we're drinking Flensburger Pils from Germany tonight. Me, myself, and I. Let's see. So, CJKV, Mark, have you ever been somewhere where it was legitimately hard to find good food, like the average restaurant just wasn't that good or something? Yeah, there's been a few places we've had that. Let's see. I think having lived abroad so long and lived on my own that now I'm at the point like I will eat anything. I think when I traveled with my dad, it's a little bit more picky, or when the kids were more picky back in the day, it was a lot easier to find stuff that was like not a lot of inventive food. And I think the bad food is just, it's the getting bored of the same food. Like when we lived in Lithuania, like 95% of the restaurants were the exact same menu, which I was fine. I love the food, but when people would visit, they're like, is there something else? I'm like, this is all good. They're like, yeah, but I want to expand my palate a little bit. So I think that's one of the things. I'm trying to think of a place where it was just really blah. Jocelyn will tell you she does not like German food. She does not like my buddy buddy Jeff and I can go to Germany anytime we want by ourselves because Jocelyn's like, I just can't do the German food. So that would be her answer for that one. C. Jones, have you given up your day job? Hell no, I won't. I love teaching too much. So Lily Pickett, is Cancun safe for the cartels? The cartels love tourist money, so they're not really going to try to hurt tourists. So that's one thing you got to realize. Yeah, Sam S. Czech is great at Christmas. It is. It's really, really beautiful there. Lewis, I'm doing pretty good. A nice little Friday, having some drinks with my friends online, which is nice. Getting to talk a little bit about travel and other kinds of other things. It's nice. Bone Dog, have you ever been to any theme parks over the pandemic? How were they? I have not, but our buddies at Turn It Up World, they have been to Disney World, and they have some videos that can help you out. So Tanya and Dave, Turn It Up World, they might be commenting still. If you see them, check out their stuff. They got some tips there. To help you out. We are not big we're not big amusement park people. We'll go to some. Like we like the ones in Europe a bit more because smaller crowds, easier to get on the rides. The rides are for more like all heights because our kids are not the tallest kids out there. So some things there. Got a big jump. Sorry. Oh, gee, I missed your super chat. I'm sorry. I answered one of your questions before. Fabio, because here's the thing, like what you see up here, I don't see that same one where it has like these people. So it has to go by. I guess it was one of the jumps. But Fabio asked, Mark, 5 richest cultures in your opinion. 5 countries with like tons of culture to see and take in: China, Japan, Italy, France, Peru. To see lots of different cultures and see a lot of different stuff there. There we go. Oh, gee. So I didn't see that one. Are you close to the 1,000,000-mile mark with Delta? No, sadly, I'm not. Because I was all about United from basically birth until 2016. January 1st, 2016, United died to me because they treat us like dog shit from 2014, 15 into 16. It was just so bad. I stopped using them. So if I would have Delta, all my United stuff I used before would have been Delta, then yeah, I would be probably at the 1,000,000-mile one. Because the thing is to get on those, you got to be traveling a lot of times. And we do like one long flight and then we stay in place for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. So like I get platinum status. I've had it, I think 5 years in a row now. And I'll have it next year because they automatically give you last year's status. So something to think about. But yeah. So sorry, OG. I apologize. Let's see if I missed any other ones because it'll jump on us here. There's the Antarctica one. So I think I got up there. I apologize, OG. Thank you. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, Strasbourg has good beer. Michael talked about France for beer. Oh, this is a good one. So, Seven says, as a current college student in the U.S., where would you recommend as places to travel both domestically and internationally? So, if you're looking for specific cities or trips in the U.S., I like a trip to the Mountain West and seeing parts of Montana, Glacier National Park, going to Yellowstone in Wyoming, Grand Tetons in Wyoming, into Idaho, Shoshone Falls. Like that's really a gorgeous spot to go. Or you can do like Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and then going over to Grand Canyon in Vegas. There's like that little kind of area there. Texas by itself. You can do a southern trip of Charleston, South Carolina, and Savannah, and hit up Atlanta. There's that. That's a fun one. New Orleans is always a go-to for me. I go once a year with buddies. I got to go this year. That we had our guys trip in January, so I got to get there this year. Internationally for college students, but if I was a college student, if I think back to my college days when I would travel, U.S. stuff, New York City is, pre-COVID, whatever, was awesome. Chicago was really, really fun. I like Atlanta. I think it's a good time. New Orleans is always a blast. Vegas is good for fun. Europe, for college students going, Barcelona, Rome, Berlin, Copenhagen, London, Amsterdam. Those are some really good ones to go to. All relatively easy to get to. Honduras Bay Islands. Yeah, that would probably where we go in Honduras. That's another thing that's kind of gotten poo-pooed for a while until we can kind of figure out what travel will be going forward. Guris Kala, cheers from Brazil. Sao Paulo, Tricolore. Actually, I was talking about Tricolore today. My Brazilian friends. So my relation to Brazil. So there was a Brazilian exchange student that lived at my house when he was in high school, and then I lived in their house when I like after my master's before my PhD. And we became super, super tight because together we lived together over a year. And so like for me, like they're family. And to, like he calls my mom on Mother's Day and like their wedding we went to. And so like my parent, like we'll talk once a month, once every month, we'll talk to Avô, the grandparents in Brazil, just because we're really, really tight. So. Oh, Jim was just in Savannah and Charleston last few days. Stayed on the haunted third floor of the Marshall House. Oh, I've stayed at the Marshall House. I know exactly what you're talking about. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, I'm all. My feed is going all over the place. And this is only my second beer, so it's not the alcohol making these crazy things happen. So, Chathuranga, hello. Have you been to Sri Lanka? No, but we will. Our plan is so when we do India, we want to do about a 2-month India trip, and Sri Lanka will be part of that trip. So that's a future trip going. Looking for that. Raccoon, what is some lesser known advice for moving to different countries? If you are going to go with your family, you need to have a serious conversation about what the other person is going to do. Because if you have a job, that doesn't mean they're going to have a job, and what the hell are they going to do? Because that can cause some severe resentment. This is one thing I think with Army families you have where the spouse has a job, they were with the Army or the Air Force, whatever, and then the spouse doesn't, and then maybe they can't get work, and then what do? And that can cause resentment. I think that's a really big thing. I know Jocelyn and I, when we were living in Portugal, like I had a job, and it took her 13 months to get her first 12-month permit to live there. And so she'd get work, but then she was pregnant, and then she got on bed rest, and she couldn't move, so then she couldn't work. And so it can really cause a lot of things. So I think that's a really important conversation to have. Also realize moving abroad is not vacation abroad, because you still have to deal with, getting cable, and it still sucks getting cable, and it still sucks paying your taxes. So the things you all have to do in a new place. So don't think it's a completely different world, because they still have the same stuff that sucks at home still sucks there. So you're not going to be running away from things if you think you will. But it is fun to live abroad. I'm not going to lie about that. Miranda Burgos, what's your favorite state to visit? I don't know. I really like Maine. I like Georgia. I was surprised how much I really liked Idaho and Wyoming and Montana, like up there. That's real nice. Yeah, I think those are some ones I really enjoy. But I mean, there's stuff to enjoy in all of them. So that's the hard thing to really find, like something bad to say. Hey, Mariposa, good to see you. Let's see. Sorry. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm way off. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, Darian. Hey, Darian. Sorry, I'm just going to stop here. I'm just going to scroll, and I'm going to stop and just start answering questions again. Okay. Illinois just scored. Yay, 14-7 Illinois. Of course, that was probably 20 minutes ago, and now we're down 39-400. Who knows? But hey, as long as it's respectable, I'm happy. It's funny. I've had a number of students from the team over the years. Always been super respectful guys, super nice guys. I mean, I still cheer for them, but I got to give them some gruff sometimes. But I got to respect them because they've always been good guys. So turn up, bro. So when's your next road trip? It's coming up. But I sent you, Tanya and Dave, I sent you a question about your Vegas adventures in the new year, so we can try to schedule something so we can go to Vegas together, so you can show us the ropes. Alyssa, I'm a professor. I am Dr. Mark Wolters. I am a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois. Let's see. Michael says the New York Rangers could play half their home games in Hartford. You mean they could be the Whale? Because the Whale, they're still here. Loved the Whale. Played them on NHL 94 all the time. Let's see. All right. So Fabio asks, have you ever had to vote at an embassy? Do you usually try not to plan trips during the elections? So I've lived 12 years abroad. So I've done mail-in voting. I've done voting I went to the embassy in Vilnius in Lithuania and voted that way. But usually when I lived abroad, I would just do the mail-in voting and do that. Or absentee voting, however you want to call it. Travel the world. Mark, my comments keep not showing up on yours. Why? I don't know. You're showing up here. I see you on here. I don't know why it's not showing up on the other ones. Are you talking about the videos traveling the world? I'll have to check it out. Creighton asks, have you ever been to those expensive places like Dubai or others? No, I have not. Don't have the money for that quite yet, ever. But I know we need to get there sometime. So that was one of our thoughts, or maybe like Josh and I would go like for a January trip and fly over there for like a long weekend, and do that when we have some time and the kids are in school, so the grandparents could watch them. But now with COVID and the kids and the grandparents, we're trying to figure out what to do. So we'll see. Like once we know where the kids are going to be doing, that'll be different. Lily, have you ever been to Petra? We were supposed to go in November. That trip got canceled. Then we were supposed to go in June, and obviously that didn't happen either. So I've paid for multiple trips to Petra, but I have never been. So yeah, Sam, I'm with you on United, my friend. So AWeb Show 36, how does it feel not to be traveling this year due to the pandemic? It sucks. I hate not traveling. But I have been lucky enough that we have traveled around the U.S. Quite a bit. So it's been nice to see the U.S. And I know Josh and I were actually talking. We actually had a conversation. We should show the boys some more of the U.S. So we were actually thinking, like, I would say 2019, because we were gone 8 or 9 weeks that summer. And we're like, you know what? Maybe next summer we'll do a shorter international trip, then do a road trip around the U.S. for 2020. And then we ended up booking a trip for like 8 weeks, and then it got canceled. And now we've done a Georgia trip. We did the 4 weeks in the Rockies kind of stuff and the Mountain West. And we're going to do a trip down to Texas for a few weeks, in Arkansas around there. And then we'll see where we're going to go. But I mean, it was really weird not traveling. And when I was filming the videos, I talked about this earlier in the feed, starting to film videos again. It took me a while to kind of get back into filming. And it was really weird because I'm like, hey there, fellow travelers. I'm like, I haven't traveled for 7 months. It sounds weird saying this. But like, so if you watch my Shocks in Nebraska, you can see it. And the first couple of things, like the Cheyenne, Wyoming video. But then by the time I got to the Idaho stuff, I was getting back in my groove. And so now I'm like, let's do some more fun stuff. So let's see. Lee Bridges, good to see you. Hey, for those of you that I'm missing your questions, I apologize because my feed is different than yours, and I'm trying to get back and getting some stuff, and then it keeps jumping around. So I do apologize. Let's see. Henry Martinez, thank you very much for the super chat. Again, my friend, I really appreciate it. Good to see you. Mark, is the San Francisco Bay Area and Hawaii included in your plans for the next 6 months? Oregon, perhaps it would be cool for your family to finally visit San Francisco. So one of the things we are looking at is a road trip where we would fly into Seattle, rent a car, and then we would drive all the way down to San Diego. And we would probably take, 6 weeks and do that. But again, it just depends on kids' school. So what they're doing, but that's the plan. So it would be, Seattle, we're going from Seattle, Portland, go around there, then go to like Crater Lake, then Redwood National Forest or State Park or whatever, and then San Francisco, the Bay Area. There's a state park just south there we want to go to, and then kind of go down through, LA and San Diego. So that's actually, I would guess if like next year we're still not able to travel internationally, that would be probably, I'm like 80% sure that will be one of our trips we will be doing. Hawaii was actually a trip we were thinking about doing for March. But the university I work at, they canceled their spring break. So I don't have a spring break. So I don't know what we're going to do with Hawaii. So we'll see. Let's see. So Lee Bridges, our last trip was Paris was last January, shortly before we all got shut down. And it's so weird finding clothing I bought for that trip, not knowing I wouldn't need it again this year. Yeah, that is one of the things. We have some stuff. I'm like, why do I have this? Oh, right. That's for this trip that we didn't take. Oh, is Tosh T in the house? Oh, hey Tosh, good to see you. Jocelyn is on her way to Missouri. Well, she's at a friend's house on the border of Missouri because she's having a girls' trip to the vineyards in Missouri tomorrow, and she's having a weekend with her girlfriends from high school. So they're having a good time getting together. They rented a house down there for tomorrow night. She's staying with her friend tonight, and they're going to have an evening just spending some time together, social distance time together with some friends. So I think she is very happy to be away from us and having some lady time since she's been stuck with testosterone for 7 months. She did go last week to look at RVs with her mom because her mom wants to get one. We are not getting one. So there's that. But good to see you on here, Tosh. I got to say, Tosh is probably the best commenter I've ever had when it comes to supportive stuff, but also adding a lot of things. A lot of you are awesome, but Tosh is really great on my Professor Wolters channel, adding a lot extra like real world perspective as well in there from like here, and here's what it's like in the real world stuff to some of the videos. I just want to say thanks, Tosh. It's really awesome. So let's see. Tosh T dodges a raise. My sister-in-law is from Tampa, so. Amy, good to have you back. Ooh, did I get caught up down here? All right. Dodgers 5, Tampa Bay 0 in the 4th inning. Yeah, I don't know how the Dodgers should win this. They should win the series. So there's that. Let's see. My last trip was the Baltics. I want to visit Belarus or Russia when things are normal again. Yeah, you gotta be careful with Belarus right now. It's a little sketchy. Hey, Ricore Peru. Hope you're doing well in Peru. So Tyler asked, do you have any holiday travel recommendations for this year? Well, if you mean travel tips, I would say pack even more patience than usual. You're going to have a lot more people on the road. Well, I know the suggestion is don't visit family and stay home, but people will still go visit their family and do stuff. So the roads, I think, are still going to be very busy, but probably even more so because people are scared to fly. But flying is pretty safe. I mean, with all the air filtration, that's not really a problem so much, or at least though what the data is showing. But it'll be interesting to see. I know we'll probably be driving around that time. I expect it to be a typical busy highway driving season for the holidays. So, okay, so DZN. Hi, Walter. Hi, good to see you. After watching your videos, I went on my first holiday in 10 years. Awesome. I visited Berlin and Paris within 10 days. It was great since I got in before COVID-19. Thanks, Grady from the UK. That's cool. I'm glad we could help you. That's awesome. And Berlin and Paris are really two great cities to do because you got a lot of stuff that's in the cities, a lot of culture to take in, and then there's some stuff nearby you can go see as well. So that's cool. Glenn, looking at Cuba early January advice. Check if you can go due to COVID restrictions. So something there to watch out for. Oh, Tristan got to rock my Wolters World quarter zip, which you might see rolling by here occasionally. Where is that? Got to rock my Wolters World quarter zip this morning at my favorite French bakery here in Georgia. Nice. Actually, I got a message from my father-in-law today. So apparently, one of his friends bought some of our masks, with the neck strap, and she went to see her orthopedic surgeon, and she walked in with a Wolters World mask, and the surgeon goes, "Hey," the doctor's like, "Hey, where'd you get that?" She's like, "Oh," and she tells the surgeon, like, "Oh, yeah, that's my brother." So she wore that too. My brother's a surgeon, and so that he had one of his patients. Well, he didn't tell me this. She told me this. That he's like, "Oh, cool." So that was kind of funny. That was today. And then another friend of ours who's on here, he's like, "Yeah, I saw a guy wearing a Wolters World shirt. And I went up to say hi, and it was obviously the guy didn't want to talk. So I was like, okay, nice shirt, bye." So it was pretty funny. And my neighbor across the way, he was in Chicago, I think last year, and he was wearing his Wolters World shirt. This guy comes like, "I love that channel, like cool." And he was worried the guy was going to punch him or something. I'm like, I hope we're not that bad. So that was kind of funny. Let's see. So Travel Mom, if UK will open again in 2021, we are looking to go there. Yeah, I think that might be one of the places we'll try to get to. But if we have to make a choice, we got a wedding in Italy. That'll be our one big trip there. Let's see. Ibaneza, thank you very much for the super chat. That's very nice of you. Do you think traveling London, Paris, Barcelona, Madrid is feasible in 3 weeks in terms of sightseeing, museum? Oh yeah, plenty of time. I would actually probably throw in a bit more. If you're in London, hit up, go to Cambridge for a day trip. I mean, you got time. You can do that for a day trip. You go to Hampton Court. There's another nice day trip you can do, so you can just have one base and leave your stuff in one place. When you're in Paris, a day trip to Versailles is nice. Fontainebleau is also nice, another palace. Fontainebleau was the Versailles before Versailles. You can get out to D-Day beaches if you want. You can do that. And then when you're down at Barcelona, doesn't have as many day trips. So I would probably spend more of my time the London and Paris thing and then go to Barcelona. But if you can go to Tarragona, which is a nice day trip to go from Barcelona. Or you go to Montpellier in France. Could be an option. So that would be something to do. But yeah, 3 weeks gives you plenty of time. I mean, you can visit a lot of places and throw in some more stuff on your way. So not a problem. But if you just want to like stay a week in each of those places, that works as well. So you'll be totally fine. Michael, yeah, Italian wedding. That's what we're going to be doing. Let's see. Oops, I got to jump here. I missed some stuff. Alberta, Matthew McDonald. We will be getting another trip that got canceled because of COVID, but Alberta is one of the places we'll be definitely getting to. Don't worry when we get there. Let's see. Henry Martinez, thank you for the super chat again, my friend. I appreciate it. I know places like the UK or Germany are fun to visit during December. I agree. But is Poland also fun and worth visiting in December, Mark? I love snow. So snow in Central Europe is not always guaranteed in December. In January, yeah, you're probably going to find some. December is hit and miss. Poland, you're not going to have as much of the Christmas spirit all over Poland. It's very much a Catholic country, and the Christianity will have their stuff. But like, since so much of this country was destroyed during the Second World War, you don't always have the old town feel with the Christmas decorations kind of stuff. If you want to do that, you make sure you're going to Krakow, Gdansk. There's some towns you can go see and take that in, so it is doable. But you're not going to find it as easy as you would like in a place like Germany or the Czech Republic. So something to think about there. So I hope that helps, Henry. Let's see. So Amy's asked, do you know if London and Paris are doing their sales in January? I honestly don't know. I don't know if they'll have their sales or not, if it'll be online. I honestly don't know. Kameza, have you been to India? We have not been yet. That is on our list of places to go. And that's one we want to spend more time in. So it's limited to either a summer or a holiday time. So we'll see. Michael, they serve soup, not pizza and weddings. Hence the Italian wedding soup you get at the store. Whiskey Tornado, what's up, Mark? We need to do a collab. I can come over and bring some whiskey from around the world to review. You're looking good, brother. Thanks, Whiskey Tornado. Whiskey is always a tasty time. I agree. Tyler, good to see you. You should do a places to travel to without a car for the U.S. I found a lot of places here aren't the best to visit without a car, and a lot of people don't have the means to rent one. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of places like that, you're going to be going to, like, New Orleans is good if you don't have a car. Savannah, Georgia is good if you don't have a car. Charleston's good. New York, Chicago, Vegas. And then there's places you never want to have a car, like San Francisco or LA. You don't want to have. It sucks. San Diego, it sucks having a car there. So you might just Uber or something like that. But yeah, that's one of the things. Is coming to the U.S., it definitely is a place you really need to have your own set of wheels. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Travel Mom's talking about the UK thing. I'm in the US, and the last I checked, we would have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. I don't have that much time. Yeah, you have to do the 2 weeks. If you look up means to travel, they just did the 2-week quarantine. They're traveling around, and now the lockdowns are coming, so you can see what they're going through. So means to travel. Alyssa and Derek, we actually interviewed them about going to the UK and their experience. That might help you out. We put that video out, I think, not this Wednesday, but Wednesday last week. So that could give you some information there to help you out. Oh, I had to jump. I'm sorry. So Dutch, I had Japan planned for this year before COVID hit. I was going to Tokyo, Kyoto, Sendai, and Hokkaido. I'm rescheduled for next year. That would have been an awesome trip too, Dutch. That is an awesome trip. I know. Right now, I'm supposed to speak in Osaka at the World Education Forum. I don't think it's going to happen. That's a really big thing. I was really excited. I was going to talk about you have to be crazy to be a good teacher or a good professor. It's an acronym I have that I would like to teach about. So yes, ask for a stamp from Andorra. Yeah. Or if you're in San Marino, you can ask and get a stamp there for that. Travis W. coming to Pittsburgh. So that is actually one of our Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania trip. That's actually part of our plan. Hi, Mark. Which city in the U.S. has the food that you like the most? So my favorite cities to eat in the U.S. New Orleans, Savannah, Georgia, and Las Vegas. So Las Vegas has got some, it's not local food. It's the restaurants in Vegas that make it great to eat at. So there is that. Let's see. Travel Mom, I have not seen the Chateau BBC shows, Escape to the Chateau. But I will say something. If any of you ever fly Air France, whenever we can fly Air France again, They have some incredible documentaries about the castles in France, and the waterways and the canals, just like even like way above BBC. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. But I've never been able to find them except on Air France flights. So I don't know if they were just for them or was maybe on a channel we don't have. I don't know. Big J 2637, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. The question was, I was looking into going to Asia, Japan/Korea this winter. However, COVID regulations are hindering me. Where are the best places to go? Not just Asia. So this winter, honestly, I think you're going to be, if you're in the U.S., you're looking at domestic travel or some Caribbean islands you can go to, or maybe Mexico. Like that's all you really got, especially if you have a limited time. I think you're not going to see, maybe next summer things will open up again. I think there'll still be some kind of quarantine and testing and stuff like that that's out there. But I do think things will be open up. So there will be certain places you probably could travel for next summer just because economies can't survive that long, especially when you have some countries where, tourism is 20, 30% of the economy. You just can't survive. So Matt Jones, Walter, do you think it's possible to see most of Western Europe on a budget of only 10 grand? Depends how fast you want to do it and where you stay. Otherwise, yeah, you could. I mean, I could totally do a lot with that much money, even with the whole family. So there is that. Okay, so Lee checked and said January 2021, the sales are still in place. Of course, because, we still got to sell stuff. So there's that. Tosh T says for the food places, New Orleans, Portland, San Francisco, New York City. Yeah, New York City's got great food. Miami are my top 5 U.S. food cities. Yeah, I got to get down to Miami. I definitely got to do that. So Sam S says, I always heard not to do the microstate passport stamp thing because some immigration officers can get fussy about it later on as it sees as interfering with your passport. I heard that a lot of times too, but I have never had any issues with it. The thing is if you get the Machu Picchu one or the Center of the World one, you got to be careful which ones you get and where you go. Like some places they're like, you don't want to have a stamp from this country going to this country because it causes problems. So you got to watch out for that. But I haven't had really any problems with it. And I've seen, especially when you start getting lots of stamps, they don't really look. They just look for the open page and stamp and move on. So let's see. Lee Bridges, to eat well in LA, get a hold of the annual 101 restaurant list put out by the Los Angeles Times. Covers everything from taquerias and Thai noodles to high-end tasting menus. Oh, that sounds cool. Thanks, Lee. Maybe we'll have to check that out in May. We'll see. Let's see. Yeah, Joan. So I've been to Minneapolis and St. Paul. My brother did his fellowship at TRIA in Minneapolis, so I went and saw him a few times up there when they lived, and we traveled around a bit. Jocelyn used to spend her summers up in Minnesota, so she has a lot more experience in Minnesota than I do because that was her summer destination. And she said we spent one Christmas in Minnesota, and then they had 90,000 inches of snow. So she's like, we didn't go back. We only go in the summer. So there's that. So Esther says, as a New York City workaholic, that's easy to begin in New York City. I know that. I've always been hard pressed to use my PTO days, except for my usual twice international travels. Any staycation ideas for using them this year? Okay, so if you're in New York City, because you guys have all those restrictions that are up there now. I mean, if you have to use it by the end of the year, I would probably go Sunbelt states because they're a little bit more open. You can get down there and do stuff. Also, you probably maybe can do some remote work while you're there, and you can get out. That would be my kind of recommendation for that. John W. Mark, I have to ask, what large metros or cities do you think have the worst or most limited food in the U.S.? This would have been a lot easier question 5 to 10 years ago before the whole foodie revolution came. I remember you could always make jokes about England and Ireland's food because the food was bad, but now there's so many good restaurants there. And that's the thing is now you can eat good anywhere. And that's why it's really hard to make the worst places to eat in the world. There really isn't too many out there. I think I'll let the audience kind of comment on some places they think aren't too good because it's amazing how you'll find random really great stuff. in DC, you've got great Ethiopian food, and one of the few places you can find Ethiopian food in the U.S., and so it's kind of cool. Travis Wisely, yes, we will do Antarctica. We're waiting for Liam to get older to do that, and we got to save up quite a bit of money for it. Lee Bridges, LA is packed with amazing California ethnic cuisines. Key to eating well here. Skip the chains. Go for a small. Yeah, small mom and pop is great. That's the only time we do when we travel, when we do the fast food stuff or whatever, the chains, is when we're doing a road trip in the U.S. We'll do that sometimes. But I always research, like, there's like Cookout you can go to, which is kind of a regional thing, or you want, the In-N-Out Burger on the West Coast, or Whataburger in Texas. You might have those too. But usually we're trying to do the local stuff. When we travel though, like if we travel with my dad, I know that we have to get him like an Irish pub, like burger or something like that, or like we'll do like Quick in France, or Hesburger in Finland, or Max in Sweden or something like that, because I know my dad, like, it's something like home, because my dad will do well for like a week, 7 days. He'll be okay with local food. Then he just needs something from home. Otherwise he gets a little like hangry, let's say. So something there for that. Maggie, this popped up my recommended. Well, I'm glad you're here, Maggie. We're just talking about travel stuff and things, and hope you're having a good Friday night. Landon, have you gone to Craters of the Moon before? So I wanted to go there, but Jocelyn ended up doing a fly fishing trip with Big Sky Anglers, and so she went fly fishing, so I had Liam. So with the time and how we had to get it was going to be a 3-hour drive to get there, and I was all about doing it, but how we had to pick her up from the end of the fly fishing thing, we couldn't quite make it work. So I was kind of pissed we didn't get there, but that was one of the places I really wanted to go. Oh, wow. Micah said, I saw a video about an Irish, Argentine, Jamaican fusion restaurant. That's got to be good, because Argentina's incredible steak. Jamaica's got incredible flavors, and Irish has got incredibleness. So now there's actually some really amazing seafood and stuff like that from Ireland. So yeah, Larissa's saying Australia border I think won't be open until at least mid next year. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's out there. I mean, that's why whenever you're booking any of this stuff, people, flights or hotels or car rentals, make sure you look and see what their cancellation policies are. Because some are like, no, we're just gonna give you credit. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna go back to your country because this got canceled. I don't have time to go again. You really want to make sure you're looking at things. So maybe better to wait and pay a higher price at a closer time than to maybe lose your money. So something to think about. Also, one of the things we did, so we were supposed to go to the Cayman Islands, and we couldn't, the VRBO wouldn't give us a refund, even though there was COVID and no one was allowed to enter the country, but they wouldn't give us our money back. But we could change, and so we ended up changing for another trip, and we got like $3,000 back because we cut it down to like 3 days. And they're like, yeah, we can't give your money back, but you could, change your thing. So we got money back. And of course, we can't go to the Cayman Islands, and so we lost that rest of the money, but at least we got some of it back. So there's sometimes creative ways you can kind of try to get some money back. Talega, Mark, I'm buzzed drinking Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. Hope we all get to drink some beers together someday. Well, we're drinking today, buddy. Cheers. I haven't had Sierra Nevada for a while. I saw at the liquor store the other day. I'm like, hey, I used to drink you quite a bit back in the day. EJ Slim, is there any city that has a bad reputation that you love? For me, it's Baltimore. It's a tough city, but I love the people, the food, the history, and the sports. For me, some cities that a lot of people don't like that I love. Paris, which a lot of people love and a lot of people don't love. Atlanta, I just love Atlanta. I just think that is a great place. There's people that really don't like New Orleans. I don't know why. I love New Orleans. New York City, love it. Some people don't. Where else? Columbus, Ohio. Interesting, very nice place. Kansas City, Missouri. People are like, why would you go there? Really, really nice place. Really nice place. Oh, by the way, Talega, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Wait, oh, dang it. There was a food in Ireland. Let's see. Can I recommend the local food here? Goodies, La Flor, Jalisco, and Cocopele, Native American cuisine. Michael, where's that at? That sounds good. Native American cuisine is actually really good. Jocelyn was talking about the fry bed in some of her latest videos, but honestly, you get some really good stuff. And if you can find it, that was because we were going through the Crow Nation, and they had the barricades up, so you couldn't go in because of COVID and anything like that. So we didn't get a chance to try anything special there. So I was kind of sad about that. Travis, how does French service compare to German service? French service I like better. German service is very much matter of fact. Order to get your stuff done. Efficiency. They're very efficient. Henry Martinez, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. Mark, if I want to experience a cool, white, and snowy Christmas, is the Midwest the best place to go? I'm in the mood for some ice and snow. I would say you're looking at Minnesota, because Illinois, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss with it. You're looking at Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Minnesota, parts of South Dakota. Like those, you have a better chance there. Or you're going to like, Buffalo, like we have the lake effect snow and stuff like that. Vermont, New Hampshire. I think that's where you have a better chance, because I would say in my life in Illinois, maybe not even half the Christmases had snow, and not a lot. Like we had snow for Halloween last year, but we didn't have it for Christmas. So I wouldn't do that. So that just in case. In case Walter was coming to Palm Springs. Oh yeah. We might be in that area in May. So there's that. Matthew McDonald, what's your favorite beer? So I like Rauch beer, which is smoked beer from Bamberg, Germany. I like that a lot. Honestly, I'll drink whatever's local. Like it's funny when I used to come back. Before all the craft beers and stuff came in the U.S., I lived abroad for a long time. Obviously, you guys know that. And I remember when I would come home, like I was doing my master's in Germany, I would come home to the U.S. I'm drinking all this really good German beer back in Germany, and I'd come home. My dad would buy like a 6-pack of Beck's or something like that. I'm like, Dad, it's okay. I want to drink Budweiser when I'm home because I'm back in America. I want to drink some Bud. And so we would do that. So it's fun. Turn it up, world. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tanya and Dave. Or Tanya and Dave. Sorry, Tanya is another friend of mine. So we're looking for getting together with you and Jocelyn. You bring the whiskey, we'll bring the wine. Sounds good. Hopefully we can do Vegas in January, February together with you all. Because I don't know if we'll be able to get up to Boston. There's a lot of the restriction and everything. But we're going to figure it out. Dang it. We're going to figure out that RV thing, but only short-term RV thing, not long-term. Let's see. South Dakota. Yes, South Dakota is sneaky full of stuff to do. And it's East River, West River. There's actually very much a divide with the Missouri River in the middle. West River, you've got the Black Hills, where everyone in South Dakota goes for vacation. It is gorgeous there. It's where Mount Rushmore is, Crazy Horse, Spearfish Canyon, stuff like that. Deadwood is all there. That's beautiful. The center-ish, you've got Badlands National Park, which is gorgeous. Do the loop. Just drive through. Like if you're coming from the west going east, you'll go to Waldrug in Wall. It's just huge, insane place. You'll go to Waldrug, and then from there, there's a drive. You can start there to go in the Badlands. You come out farther east if you're going to be heading towards, the Corn Palace and stuff like that, out in that direction. So well worth it. Yeah, but it is sneaky good. Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Kansas doesn't have much to see. Kansas City, Missouri has a lot of the stuff to see. That is an underrated city. Great museums, good shopping, good food, super nice people. It's just really, really long. So, I would say like double your Uber budget because you're going all over the place. So, something to think about. Let's see. A friend of mine just booked South Mexico for 3 next summer for $1,000 for all 3 tickets return. Yeah, 3 so 33 for each. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's nice. What are you drinking there? I've Flensburger Pilsner, which is from northern Germany. And I always like it because when I used to live there, when we go to movies, you'd have it, and then people would like pop it in the movie. So it was always kind of a funny thing, especially when you saw like a silly movie. It was always good fun. Let's see. So Travis says, do you still fly during COVID? I have not flown yet because we've been doing road trips. I imagine I will fly soon. I think what's going to end up happening, because I think my kid's school district says they're probably going to go back face-to-face in January. So probably what will happen is Josh and I will do solo trips, and we'll just fly. So we'll probably do that. And start doing those again. I'm not really worried about the flying part of it. We have a lot of friends that have been flying. They're like, dude, there's nobody at the airport. It's pretty chillax. So hopefully we'll be doing that. Let's see. Miranda Burgos. Last year was a very odd Halloween. Yeah, I know. We were having snowball fights. It was crazy. Let's see. Oh, Amy's going to Colorado Springs. Careful with the fires and everything. Yeah, Beartooth Gap. So I did see some pictures of that. That is really gorgeous. Though I don't know the mountain pass stuff. Jocelyn does not do well. She won't let me drive. Like if you go to Simply Jocelyn, just look up Simply Jocelyn on YouTube. That's Jocelyn's channel. And she has one of driving over the Tetons, and she was not having a good time. Or you can watch the video where I drove up Scotts Bluff National Monument. She was not enjoying that. Not enjoying that at all. Hey, Darian. Tosh T, I did pack the Santa hat this year on the trip, which I needed to because we did not have a lot of stuff in there. This is going to be the most interesting put together of the 12 days videos. So I'll give you that. So yes, that's always going on. Oh, let's see. Bubba Spartan, good to see you, buddy. Hey guys, happy Friday. So Mark, my son broke his collarbone while on a trip in Colorado. I too have. There's actually, I don't know if you can see the bump here where it almost came out the skin. Made for a fun trip. Luckily we were with family, but still made for a long trip home. Yeah, oh my God. I had a 19-hour bus ride after I broke mine. It sucked. And I was, like 17, 18 at the time with a bunch of high school exchange students. So, of course, you can't cry or whine or anything like that. And I was laying on the ground in the bus, and it was by the steps going to the bathroom. One of my friends was trying to be nice and not step on me. She thought my broken collarbone was one of the steps. I tried to scream, but nothing came out because she stepped on me thinking it was a step and went over. And she put all her weight. Oh, my God. I still feel the pain. So, let's see. What else? Hey, Darian, good to see you there. Santa Mark, yeah. So Erica says, is Wyoming really as crazy windy as they say? Yeah, it is. It is pretty windy. Like they have warnings for the winds, stuff like that. So we have an expedition, and we were driving that, and when we were going into the wind, I didn't notice so much. But when we took the right and went up towards Jackson, when the wind was kicking, you're like, whoa! I mean, you're holding with two hands. So do have a heads up, especially when it starts getting in the wintertime. It can be. I mean, we saw tons of dust devils, all kinds of stuff. Let's see. David Scheel, what was your favorite small Irish town be? I highly recommend Westport. Westport's nice. Some of the small ones I really enjoyed. Kinsale, just south of Cork. I wasn't a big fan of Cork, but Kinsale, it's on the water. I thought that was gorgeous. Waterford, which most people think of just as for the crystal, actually was a nice place to visit. Kilkenny is not that small. It makes for a good day trip from Dublin if you're staying in Dublin, but that would be a nice Irish town to check out when you're there. There's just a ton of small Irish towns to check out. It's really hard to limit it, but yeah, there's some good ones out there. Well, happy Saturday in Australia, Alba. Happy. Sam S., what are your other passions besides lecturing and traveling? My family and helping people. That's basically takes up all my time. So there's that. Oh, I got to jump there. Sorry for everyone I just jumped over. Dough Burger. Is a Dough Burger no, Slug Burger I think is in Mississippi. I'm not sure. I can't remember where that is. Dough Burger. Is that like a donut burger? I don't know. Let me know. Swan Valley and Driggs. I was in Driggs. Driggs is actually in my Idaho video the other day. It's actually going to be in our Christmas video this year. Let's see. Sorry, it's jumping out to it's jumping around a bit. My contacts are bothering me. Getting old sucks. Kilkenny's nice. What part of Greece is your wife's family from? So a lot of her family is from Corinth and down by Sparta. That's where most of them are from. Yeah, the Square Ice Cream place in Swan Valley. Yeah, we forgot to mention that in the food video. Jocelyn, her dad's Greek, so she's half Greek. My comment will show up on the side. So travel the world, because I see it here, but it's not showing up on there. That's weird. So I'm answering your questions, but you can't see it up on there. That's weird. Oh, yeah. Slugburg is the same thing, Mark. Mississippi native here. Good. Okay. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for the clarification. Thank you, Amy, for the kind words. I appreciate that. So Sam asks, for Ireland, I recommend seeing where local festivals are. In normal towns, local festivals turn sleepy villages and towns into hopping, busy, fun places. This is true. This is one thing I think a lot of people miss out when they go to Europe because a lot of people just stay in the big cities. But if you find some of those festivals, like we would go to Obidos for the chocolate festival every year. Such a good time. Medieval festivals, the Highland Games Day and weekends. There's a lot of really cool things to see. But it's like that. If you're here in the U.S., you can actually schedule. It's kind of like, if we get a state fair, a county fair, and some Mayflower days or Dogwood days or something. There's a lot of really cool little trips you can do and little villages that really become fun places to go for it might only be for one day of the year, but it's one day it's worth being at. So thanks for mentioning that one, Sam. So let's see. Yeah, Galway and Doolin. Yeah, Doolin. I actually have a sign from Doolin in my office. Doolin was a cute town. So Travis Friesen, how do you decide from your fans where to travel? So usually, we haven't done it this year because we're not going anywhere. Usually what we do is we'll actually ask our fans, where would you like to go? Our patrons on Patreon and our members on YouTube will hey, what are some places you think you would like to go? We'll get some ideas there, and then we'll put it out to the whole community. Hey, where are some places you'd like to go? We start to collect and see, is there some ones that popped up? Like a few years ago, Iceland came up a lot. And Iceland came up, we went to Iceland. Our fans had us go to Iceland. Our fans, where else? The Peru trip. Where else was there? Israel was one, but that's gotten canceled twice, but we're still going to go. There's usually at least one that our fans actually do pick, and we go specifically for our fans for that. So we usually do those. But yeah, it's usually fans will mention a lot of places, and we'll ask, hey, let's vote. And so we'll do that. Let's see. Hey, Leroy, ciao, bello, ciao. All right. Oh, that's cool. So Lee Bridge is saying, by the way, a number of LA Philharmonic musicians have been playing on their house porches, allowing neighbors who stop by and listen from the lawn and sidewalks. See, that's the thing that's nice. You're still, in the beginning of this, you'd see those videos of people play music and singing with their neighbors, on the balconies and stuff. And it's nice to see there's still some of these fun stuff going on. It's really nice. See you later, Tosh. Have a good one, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see. Anyway, David, I have not been to Moldova. I had quite a few students from there back in the day, but I have not been. So, Landon, Greenland, that's one of the places I kicked myself because we were in Iceland and we could have done that, but I did not get a chance to do it. So off-road armbar, local Boise, Idahoan, not Boise, Boise. I try to say, it's hard not to say it with the Z. Here, and I've been watching your videos forever. Thank you for your most recent video. I'm glad we could show some fun stuff in Idaho. Jocelyn had an Idaho food video, so make sure you check out that. What to eat in Idaho. Make sure we did okay. Yeah, getting old does suck. So Travis Friesen, I'm gonna finish with this one. Oh my goodness. Jocelyn just got on. I guess I'm not going off yet. But Travis Friesen asks, have you ever tried moonshine? Local, yes. When I lived in Lithuania, it was a thing. Everybody's uncle made Miško pasika or something like that. It was like Forest Dream. And it was homemade moonshine. And I remember this is Christmas, maybe Christmas 2003, maybe? 2003 or 2004, I can't remember. One of those. And my old TA invited me to go spend Christmas with her family because my mom had already left and I was by myself and they're like, well, come. And so I go and they get me this ice storm. They bring me out to their summer house and it's winter and it's freezing cold and we're all there and you honor her family and none of them drank. And then the guy's like, wait, I'll go down to blah, blah, blah's house. And he comes back. Seriously, he opens the door of the house. I can smell the alcohol right away. He's like, this is for you. And I'm like, wait, we're not supposed to drink till midnight, right? He's like, yeah, because at midnight we have the 12 dishes and then we drink. And I'm like, oh, cool. So we get to midnight, we have our drink. He's like, okay, now you drink this. And so I have a shot. It's like fire coming out, right? And I'm like, oh, you're going to drink with me? He's like, hell no, I got to drive tomorrow. I'm like, not even a shot. He's like, no, that shit's dangerous. I'm like, but yeah, there's been many times I've had real homemade moonshine. It's pretty crazy. I see. Jocelyn, 12 days of J-Rec. What am I doing? You can do the traveling family with the whole J-Rock crew. You could do 7 random cities with the Aveston sign. There's one. I don't know if there's any local food from Aveston, so I mean I don't think Casey's Pizza is going to count. But those are some there. I'll look on my list, babe. So, hey Francis, good to see you. Oh, for those wondering, that at Simply Jocelyn, that's Jocelyn's channel. You can click on there, take her to her channel to check it out. Yeah, Jocelyn, you got on here and I just lost my mind. Bad words came out of my mind because you make me have dirty thoughts. So Matt Jones, Walter, in your opinion, what's the easiest Western European language to learn? I think probably Spanish. It's just Spanish and Italian are both fun languages, but I think Spanish is a little bit easier to learn. Let's see. Oh, local drinks. Do I have local drinks? Because I can't remember my blue book is, babe. I will look. When I finish this, I will go look and what's a local drink in Aveston? I don't know. Josh Parks. No, I don't think we can do that shirt. Maybe Simply Josh can have that shirt. What's the number for local foods? 3 local foods. That's one that's there. Okay, 3 local drinks. That's babe, for you, I know the person that makes that video. And I'll make it work. Wait, is it 4 canceled trips? I don't want to give his stuff away. So yeah, Michael, Basque is a very, very rare language. Also, what's funny, and I forgot to put this on the Shocks of Idaho, is there's a Basque community actually in Boise, and there's actually some Basque restaurants there, which are pretty good. Let's see. It's okay, gals. I'm going to hop off here in a bit. I've been on for 2 hours by myself. How do I even manage without Jocelyn? See, that's why I had to be there. Snoot Shooter. Just make sure you write it down for me, babe, so I have it. Okay, so where can you still fly to? So transatlantic on Delta is down 94%. Trans-Pacific is down 91%. Domestic is down 79%. There's not a lot of places you can fly right now, but if you're on the U.S., you can fly pretty much anywhere you want in the U.S. You can still go to the U.K. and you got to quarantine for 2 weeks. There's different stuff going on, but it is really kind of limited. Darian 3 big beers. That was a good one. That's what like the 2015 one. That was a funny one. Yeah. Next year's going to be fun. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, every year we do a 12 days of Christmas travel video. If you look up 12 days of Christmas travel, Wolters World, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we've done 5 years now. We're working on the 6th year. And what we do is there's on the 12th day of Christmas, which we'll get to meet 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords are leaping, 9 ladies dancing. But we change it every year to different stuff. So sometimes it's like, 9, like, let's see, like 3 local foods, 2 travel buddies, and a traveling family. So we kind of change the words. So it's kind of like our Christmas card to our fans and our family and everything. So yeah, we do that every year. Yeah, you can still fly to Mexico. You can do that. That's true. San Diego. Love San Diego. That is a good place. I love you the world too, babe. I guess you're getting off. I'm glad you got to Colette safe. Tell Jason and Colette and their kids I said hi. So we have that. All right, team. I'm going to head off. I got to read a few chapters of a book to the boys. Henry Martinez got a super chat in, so we'll finish with Henry's question. In Boise, Idaho, cheap to move into, Mark? I mean, compared to California. I hear Boise is really growing. Your thoughts? Have a great evening. Yes, Boise still is cheaper than California, but the prices there have skyrocketed because of all the people from California moving there. But it's still cheaper than California. I mean, it's still cheaper than California. So you can still get a lot. Your money will go a lot farther there. So that's one thing to think about. Yeah, as Mark Finley said, things are a lot cheaper from there. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Michael, Sam, Reggie, Michael, Gals, Mark, Thomas, good to see you, buddy. Henry, thank you for all the super chats. Mary Ellen, good to see you. Lori, you have a good one. Oh, another one. Off-road hardbar, please don't move here. Be nice. Be nice. Vacation there. It's a gorgeous state. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Matt Jones, good. I'm glad I can answer some questions. Thanks for liking the channel. Do you say heads up twice to sentence? Oh, I did not realize that. Yes, DK, we do have quite a few Japan videos. Just put Japan Wolters World. They will come up. We'll be good to go. So anyway, I wish you all the best. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Stay safe. Travel well. If you're ready to travel again, be safe wherever you're in the world. Hope you and your family are doing well. Just like I hope my family's doing well, too. I'll see y'all later. Bye from here in the living room without Jocelyn because she's out hanging with friends. Bye, y'all. See you later.